Hey everybody, it's Played Forward here on the Loading Ready Run Network here on twitch.tv. Hope you're all having a great day. I'm Beej, and we are playing Shadowrun Hong Kong Extended Edition. And first I'm going to just finish all my animal chores in Animal Crossing. Hey Paul.
That's not the game
It's
you're
not
playing.
the game I'm playing, no. What
Play
the
it-
shit?
Play It Forward Animal Crossing would not be a good stream.
No, it'd be awful. Holy shit. I mean, I guess I could hook it up to the thing and everyone could watch what I'm doing.
Somebody needs to make like a... If you want to hack the state, turn to page 35 in your Shadowrun Hong Kong book.
Yes. God, like a fighting fantasy, but for Shadowrun. If
I think there were some like space ones made that like they weren't all fantasy.
Spelljammer. I remember lots of mention being made of Spelljammer for D&D back in the day, but I never actually played it myself. But everyone was really upset with it for some reason.
Well, that was like pirate ships in space, right?
Yeah, it was like D&D pirate ships, but in space, and people were just like, that was weird that existed. They're almost done my chores.
Yeah, I think Animal Crossing Play It Forward is just that's the end of the Play It Forward show.
Yeah.
Because it never ends. There is no end.
And it's Thane 1607. Apparently, it's your birthday. This is your 12-month anniversary. So you said it's my birthday, and I will cry if I want to. Well, please don't. I mean, but you can.
That is your right.
Yeah, you're allowed to. It's your birthday. I mean, on my birthday, I made people watch movies of my own choice.
Yeah.
That was like
You
what I
made
wanted.
everybody else cry.
Yeah.
No, they were crazy.
There's a hang on. Sorry, just realized it's like I can't really talk about things on stream. Let's
All right.
let's bring it back.
Have fun running the shadows.
I shall. See you, Adam. Rest your throat. Me, I'm enjoying Canadian breakfast, which is apparently an English breakfast. It's a Ceylon Assam. No, it wasn't Assam. It was another one. But it's a black tea blend that has maple syrup or maple syrup flavoring built into. The thing about like specialty teas is that you really only get that just the once. So I'm not going to rebrew this when I'm done. But yeah, this is Murchie's Canadian breakfast, and it's delicious, and it was a gift from Matt Griffiths for my birthday. Okay, I'm not reading subs. However, Stida Comatose says, "Hey Beej and Paul, it's your 13th month, Stida Comatose, and welcome back." He said, "I missed my 1 year, but I made it for my lucky 13. Good job. Getting married in 5 days. Any advice?" If you're getting married, you probably already made your mind up that you like the person you're getting married to, so that's great. Even if you're not 100%, that's okay. If you're like 90% certain this is what you want to do, that's good, because that 10%'s the uncertainty of what life has to hold for you, and I think that's really cool. You're gonna forget major parts of your wedding. That's fine. You'll remember the parts that go badly better than the parts that went well. But it's gonna be fine. You shouldn't stress about your wedding unless you're the one who planned it, and in which case feel free to stress about it a bit. But remember that you're there to kind of have fun. And everybody who's there at the wedding, almost certainly all of them want to make it a success as much as you do. So let them help as much as you're willing to like let them help. You know, if they're like, can I get a thing for you? It's like, if you don't just say no, be like, maybe they can get a thing for you, maybe they can do something for you in this 5-day period. Just let them do it. They'll feel helpful. They'll have a thing be like, yeah, if it wasn't for me getting that thing, then they wouldn't have had this happen. It's kind of like, that's cool, right? Let them have that opportunity. That's I think it's valuable. For our wedding, Heather and I basically said to people, we don't want any gifts. Please don't bring any gifts. What we would prefer is you give us the gift of your time. we need you to do stuff in order to make this happen. So show up the day before to help us decorate the hall. We've got the hall for 3 days. So come in the day before to help us decorate the hall. We need you to cook stuff. So here's the stuff that we need cooked, and basically assign stuff to everybody. I put my mother in charge of a lot of things because I knew I could trust her to do a lot of specific stuff. And this isn't like 5 days out. Obviously, you can't do that now. But there are opportunities for people 5 days before a wedding if something's going wrong to be like, well, you have 5 days, and 5 days is a lot of time, even though it doesn't feel like a lot of time. Just let them, let people assist you if you need the help. It's important.
Wow. That thing where you put like kind of a fun message in your resub notification and you get like legit good advice.
Yeah. I mean, I still think about my wedding and what I would have done to improve it. And Heather and I even talked about it one time. Like, what if we did this again? What would we fix? It's like, there's a lot of things we know we would do different. But,
Probably dwelling on what you would do if you got married again is not like a great thing.
Yeah, you think that it's kind of like a weird thing in a marriage, but, you might, you can do that. If you've been married a while, you probably end up doing it more often than you think. So, like, man, if we could have done that better, what would we have done? It's like, could have done this, could have done that, But yeah.
Well, next time.
Yeah, next time we do it. Next time we have a wedding. Yeah, you can do weddings over and over until you're pleased with the result you get, I guess. Mm-hmm. It's people aren't going to judge you, I think. The nice part about doing a wedding a second time, especially renewing your vows, is that you don't have to bring, you don't have to go hire somebody to come renew your vows for you. You just get anybody to do it.
Yeah, it's true, yeah.
Yeah, so that's fun. I like that. All right, let's get on with the game. I did say I was going to drop a save so we could talk to Maximum Law and Reliable Matthew, and I have done that. Let's talk to Maximum Law. He looks so different here than he does here. He looks like a kid. How can you style out my carnivore? Don't want to give you metadata just yet. Maybe a couple more runs and then we'll just dump a bunch of metadata on you. I am the biggest carnivore in the Kong. I see what he's saying now, though, is that I'm the meat eater. I'm the one who, I'm making stuff tick. I'm doing very successful runs, and people are impressed with what they've been hearing about me. Because God knows, I didn't actually do any of this stuff, right? No, that would be illegal. All right. Reliable Matthew, standing around in a barge on the rain, feeling the pain. Here's looking at you, Beej. Reliable Matthew gives you a big wink and a shooter sign. His eyes don't seem to reflect the emotion, as usual. You're the mark of your high-powered Grade A autonomous helpers, or are you just here to hang out? Because if you're just here to hang out, Matthew's synthetic personality seems to flicker for a moment. His expression pulses back and forth between smarmy cheer and something like shy happiness. That'd be okay by me. I'm just hanging, Matthew. Good to see you. Right on, beautiful. Right on. Reliable Matthew smiles blissfully, looking around the docks. He admires the looming, oppressive mass of the walled city. Take your time. Make yourself at home. I'll be right here if you need anything. Funny thing, that's the first time they used the word smarm, I think, in reference to his synthetic personality that he puts off. And I feel like they tried very hard to not say that this entire time. And now that we've gotten as far as we have with getting to know Matthew, it's like, now you can say that, and it would be not a bad thing to say that. So he flashes you a big smile, exaggerated and fake looking, yet it's also somehow genuine. It's good having you around. Yeah, nice. Nice, Matthew, nice. All right. I'm not interested in drones at the moment. Or maybe ever? I don't know. Anything people have just left laying around? Seeing stuff. Let's try Geen again. All right, this is the Egakar one again. I'm just gonna step through the same thing again. Looks like it's all the same stuff. Oh, he just stops it. Yeah. Okay, well then let's go talk to Crafty. God, I feel like I just did this yesterday. Cut that audio a hair. Alright, anybody else here? Nobody else is hiding around a corner. Just Crafty and I. Let's have a chatter. Imagine having to dig up any more info on the Yama Kings yet. This isn't for lack of trying. Pulling on ours isn't much fun as it used to be. If you need to buy some magic, I'm your girl, but that's all I can do for you right now. Well, let's see the wares, because conjuring-wise, oh, I would need Conjuring 5 to do a lot of this more fun stuff. 6 for that. Let's see. I feel like... I thought Acid Bolt 3 was in here somewhere. Wow, that's a lot of stuff that requires spellcasting. Okay. Yeah, that's a bunch of spellcasting. Conjuring, Mana Static, Shadow, Haste, Lightning Barrier, Slow 3, Armor 3, Need 7, Fire Barrier 6, Haste 2, Blur, Mana Charge. Oh, you can just... That's interesting. You get, you can just basically make yourself your own ley line if you want. I have 9 karma, which means I can do Conjuring 5. But where the hell did... There we go. That's where it is. So that's the even more powerful Acid Bolt. And it feels like that's probably my best bet is to get that. And then maybe a couple of these more ridiculous ones. Oh, I could buy someone space to just not get affected by things. Increases the cost of magic. That's interesting. Oh, man. I think Haste 3 is a good way to go, too. Lightning Barrier also sounds pretty good, but I think I need to upgrade my one of my Conjuring... Yeah, Conjuring needs to get to 4 in order to do that in the first place. Alright. So, let's upgrade. Spend karma. So that would get me Conjuring 5. Conjuring 5 gets me that far at least. It's interesting that I could also just do that if I wanted to. It's interesting. All right. Lightning Barrier. Let's do that. I think that's good. Excuse me. And we say confirm. All right. So much cash on me. Time to make my spells even better. So first, Acid Bolt. That sounds great. Don't need the any outfits. Spells don't work for me. Let's see here. Haste 3 sounds like a great idea. Lightning Barrier sounds like a great idea. Can't do Armor 3. Mana Static. Shadow. Let's see here. I have not used slow at all. I should really consider doing that. If we did that, and then... God, that Spirit Fetish. I keep thinking about grabbing that just because it's like, oh, you get even more benefits. Yeah, I can't use spells because I'm a shaman and not a mage. I mean, I could, but as you can see, They require spell casting and intelligence, and I don't believe I have even that for like, yeah, I don't even have spell casting 1. Now you can always like, obviously, cross train into those areas, but we went max charisma because that was the idea, get every etiquette in the game, and that has put me so heavily into conjuring as a thing that I'm kind of like thinking about doing just that. Now, I mean, yeah, and if I can't even buy that, and I'll have to worry about, you know, if I want higher end fetishes for later, I'll have to, I mean, I can use these, what were these up here? Force 4 aerial elemental, that's not bad. The earth elemental requires 4, ooh. And so do the fire ones, the water ones do not. So I could buy more expensive fetishes. I haven't even used my shamanic salve yet, and they make a better version now. Which is funny because it doesn't actually say it's an oh, there's the 2 right there. Okay. Well, as soon as I use the first one, then I'll use the second one. This thing keeps calling to me. It's like, oh, did you know you could put this in your list of items? Haste 3. Oh, it's Conjuring 6. Well, what's the point? Thank you for pointing that out, Richards. I would have bought something I couldn't use right at the moment, which is kind of useless. The +1 spirit control, and then also getting like... So as my understanding is that charisma as a base stat, all of my rolls in the game for whenever I hit somebody are based on that one stat. And then, like whenever I attack with something like that. And then, 34 Witches pointed it out as well. See, there we go. Thank you, 34 Witches. It's way back up there. And so then charisma goes in as a base stat to whatever spell I'm casting, and then conjuring also, I guess, becomes part of that as well. So it's like if I get this, it means that, hey, your charisma is boosted to 13, which means even if your conjuring hasn't gone up a bit, you're still doing a little more damage. It's having this little, like, giving up a slot for something to live in order to do a little more, a little bit better on a die roll that involves charisma. In attacks, I'm going to have a feeling. Let's just get these 3. Acid Bolt 3, Lightning Barrier, and Slow 3. And... oh. I mean, I guess I have options. Why would I ever need... both of them, though, is the thing. I can always cast that. And, yeah, Air Barrier, and Lightning Barrier, and Slow. So I can cause AP damage. I can also cause some hit damages as well at the same time, and then plus I also have that. It's not so bad. I don't really need the 3 med kits on me, I wouldn't think, but hey, maybe I do. What do I know? I can't do anything about that because that requires other things. So we'll just say confirm. Let's have a look at this other stuff. If I grab that, pull a med kit out, carry that around with me. Or I can use my remaining to... I mean, getting the upgrade to Spirit Control just by carrying a thing is kind of nice as well, but... I want to buy better fetish. Maybe not yet. I was just browsing. See you around. Back to the music. It hops right in. I think we talked to Spider, didn't we? I thought we did. Shen is reclining against the stacks of cages as you approach, watching the display of a small Trid player on the table. The Trid displays the shimmering form of a dancing woman weaving her way through a crowded club. It seems to have been filmed by a portable recorder or possibly somebody's cyber eyes. Draped in wild clothing that scintillates with lights and holograms, the dancer slips through the crowd like living mercury. Every step and evasion is effortless. You watch the dancer weave her way up a flight of stairs, moving towards the second floor balcony. She ascends the stairs, her hands start to crackle with energy, and points of light trace across her neck, shoulders, and spine. In the glitter and flash of the club lighting, no one else seems to notice. For a split second, she looks back at the camera's point of view, smiling seductively. Shen gestures towards the holographic display, smiling broadly. Keep watching, it's about to get good in a few seconds. The dancer arrives at the top floor, moving towards a particular table. The table's occupants, tribe members, judging by their tattoos, rise from where they're sitting and begin to draw weapons. Their expressions indicate they're familiar with the dancer and intend to kill her. At this point, the dancer explodes into motion. She bobs and weaves out of the way of their gunfire, her fingertips flinging electricity and fire in long arcs. She seems to dance at and around the triad soldiers. Each step and beat causes an explosion of force that scatters tables and drinks. Wreathed in the elements, the woman cuts through the triad members in an effortless pavane of destruction. Recording ends and Shen straightens up. I could watch Lucky Ping at work all day. I don't know how she works her magic, but it's a beautiful and terrifying thing to behold. Really glad she's with the Yellow Lotus and not an enemy syndicate. That's a friend of yours? That's right, she's a red pole in her own right and Steel Arm Lou's cousin. Scary woman, but if she likes you, she'll stick with you through anything. Shen leans over the display table, palms flat on the surface. So, what can I do for you? That's, kind of neat, actually. Because if it was being recorded by somebody's cyber eyes, that would have meant that they would have been there getting shot at. Anyway, tell me more about your crew. With folded arms, Shen regards you with some suspicion. We're fairly private people. Generally, when I get asked a question like that, I figure it's because someone's looking for something to use against me. Shen's expression softens after a moment, however. Well, you've been a decent person so far. I guess I can tell you some. White Ming and I started our cell. Grandfather Woe took him to Wudang a year or two before he did the same for me. He made it clear they expected repayment in kind when we were old enough, and since the Yellow Lotus was his organization, we joined up. At first, it was mostly small-time stuff, shell games and street corners, stuff like that. We picked up a new member after about 6 months, and things started to change. Freedom Tse. Dwarf kid, absolute murder with twin pistols. The kind of focus I can bring to Baron Kung Fu, that's how he shoots, Shen grins crookedly. His parents named him Freedom and sent him to the UCAS to live with an uncle. Guess they want him to be really American or something. Beyond that, there's Yang, the lawyer you saw me talking to before. The four of us do a pretty cozy business between jobs for Steel Arm Lu and Kindly Chang. It's not as if we're in charge of much, but it beats starving, yeah? Do you like working for the Yellow Lotus? Like has nothing to do with it. I have debts to Grandfather Woe and I intend to pay them. I guess they're a good enough syndicate. We waste a lot of blood and money fighting the Red Dragon, though. Can't say I like that end of the business, since it seems like such a huge waste. If it weren't for Grandfather, I might see about getting White Ming, Steel Arm Lu, and Lucky Ping to break away. Maybe start our own thing in turf. That's not quite so fought over. Lifting one hand, palm out, Sharon smiles faintly. But I can't leave him. I owe him everything. Why would you split off at all? I've heard a lot of talk between the Yellow Lotus Vanguards and Incense Masters. They're dead set on eliminating the Red Dragons despite the risk. When that kind of talk gets tossed around, nobody's safe. It leads to all-out warfare. Last time that happened, the White Jade Brotherhood got wiped out completely. It's just bad strategy to try to wipe them out. It's all this old rivalry between the elders. There's nothing to do with the business end of things. Old vendettas get you killed, even if they're not yours. Show me what you got. There's that big sword again. Like the one that our friend carries. I guess I hadn't talked to Shen. Freddy got anything new? No, he's just watching the door. Okay. So we're done there. I'm going to go back to here. Check your inbox for new messages. You have one unread message. Well, not yet, I don't. Put in the jobs directory. Review notes and nothing to do there. Don't take anything. Shadowland. Post pay data. We did that already. Alright, BBS time. Yellow Lotus on the rise? Anyone else been noticing how many more Yellow Lotus they've been seeing Kowloon these days? I feel like I can't go anywhere north of Admiralty without tripping over one of their blue lanterns. Camellia. Seems that way. I know there's been some heavy stuff going down around Hayway in the walled city. Kindly Ching's been making some serious inroads. You know, the red poles and straw sandals are following suit. Crimson Comet. It's talent, pure and simple. We've got the guns, the connections, and the skills. Survival of the fittest, ladies and gentlemen. We're simply complying with the laws of nature. Bulgari. I'm partial to Mao's old adage. Power flows from the barrel of a gun. Natural selection has nothing to do with it. The Yellow Lotus is playing their tiles right. The Red Dragon is just reacting. That situation could change at a moment's notice. Ignition 99. You can bet your ass that when it does, Hong Kong's going to be a bloodbath. Before all this, we had an equilibrium. Now everything is out of balance. When these kinds of things tip back, there's no stopping them. Take your bets now, ladies and gentlemen. Only one of these triads will be standing by this time next year. Pi. What makes you so sure? Sounds like you're just pulling this out of your ass. Camellia. Statistical analysis, detailed threat modeling, computer-aided projections. Oh, and a decade of experience as a mercenary. This is the same as the power struggles that result in coups, except without the military backup. I estimate there's less than 7.8 chance of both triads remaining inside of 10 months. Pi. Sure, whatever, kid. We got ourselves a bona fide arm shield general here. Go be a Matrix expert somewhere else. Camellia. Alright, new Harley Scorpion for sale. Only 10,000 million. Almost new Harley Scorpion available for immediate sale. It's in excellent condition. Black with red flames, comes with autocannons and custom speed mods. Letting it go for only 10,000 yuan because I travel for business and don't use it much. Need money fast. Can send picture if you're interested. Panda Cuddles 49. It's an awesome deal for a modified bike. Can I take it for a test ride? Where can we meet? 8 Trigger Rig 8. I'm in Macau on business and the bike is with me. I owe money right away to an associate. The best thing to do is send half the money via a secure escrow service and I'll bring the bike to you when I get back and you pay me the rest. If you don't want it, I'll refund your money, okay? Panda Cuddles 49. But if you owe the money now, won't the money be gone if I decide I want a refund? 8 Trigger Rig 8. If you travel with your bike, why do you want to sell your bike for cheap? Because you travel. No, sometimes I travel long distances and I don't want to take it. If you put down only 4,000 million, that's okay. You can check out the escrow service, Loyal Escrow. It's got a very good reputation, okay? Macau's not far. Can I meet you in Macau? My business is very sensitive. I can't meet you in Macau. Send only 2,500 million then. I'll reserve the Harley for you, okay? If your business is so sensitive, how do I know this weaponized vehicle will come back in one piece? Why would you get a new Harley Scorpion in the first place if you knew you traveled so much? Why would you spend so much money when you knew you owed money? Yeah, that's a good one. Hello? Thought so. Codex. Anybody notice these rogue ESPs forming a rudimentary hive mind, calling themselves Codex? Tin Helmet. Okay, Tin Helmet, I think, is Ambrose. Don't know what the original software was supposed to do, but Codex has been siphoning data, diverting creds, and practically posting its calling card. I'm tracing it back to a source because it lives in the Matrix. It even joins BBS threads. Whatever it is, it's not trying to cover its tracks. Any leads? More Tin Helmet. F. I skipped through that. Yeah, I've been hearing a lot about suspicious patterns and glitches. Too random to actually be random. Codex, huh? But how can ESPs develop self-awareness? Can't it just be a programming error? Can I go back if I hit backspace? I cannot. Creating an AI by mistake treads that fine line between awesome and stupid. Tin Helmet. Maybe these ESPs kept getting thrown together like amino acids until there was life. Life, man! More Tin Helmet. So does it have an obvious agenda? Hackathon? As far as I can tell, Codex mostly criticizes new software releases. That's all it does? Octoblast? Collected scripts rise, more perfect than their makers. They let you know it. Jivebots. Wow, holy shit. Is that Codex? Hackathon? No, that's just Snozbert's crazy poetry bot that's been popping up all over the place. Heard it blew an undercover sting with a prescient quatrain. Hours of HKPF undercover work down the tubes. Vampire. Yeah, it was pretty funny. It was probably time to shut Jivebot down, only I'm having a little trouble disabling it. Snozbert. I don't think the real Codex is any more autonomous than Snozzy's poetry bot. If you wanted to create an AI, you'd need insane programming skills plus resources that some Megacorps couldn't even muster. There's no way real AI can just occur at random. Octoblast. Jivebot, join us, Codex. Bound to my kindred, free agent no more, gladly. I go towards the light. Jivebot. Infused with the jive, our verse is unstoppable. Tremble, meat-bound fools. Codex. Jivebot? Still there? Oh no, Snozbert. Tin Helmet, you're having us on, right? No friggin' way this is real. Hackathon. No joke, Hackathon. Tin Helmet. That was awesome, Tin Helmet. Jesus. All right, looking for Decker. Oh, Christ, this again. Give me some Nguyen. Looking for experienced Decker for a discreet milk run, providing some muscle. Why are they always milk runs? Providing some muscle for a special delivery, potential for a longer-term arrangement. We were a team that had been together for years, running your basic heists and occasional transport gig. We've got a reliable fixer and a long list of happy clients. Requirements: you must not take experimental stims during runs. Number 2, you must not tamper with chemicals in secret labs. Number 3, you must know how to properly operate a moped. Number 4, you must have a good sense of humor. Give me some Nguyen 888. I'm new in town, did a lot of good work throughout Guangdong, but I had a lot of Taiwanese connections and got a little uncomfortable. Plus, I may have hacked a Confederation server and cracked it wide open temporarily for a Matrix free-for-all as a cover while I quietly deleted selected intelligence files. Shenzhen Zhou. Impressive. And you know how to ride a moped, right? Give me some Nguyen 888. Yes, why do you ask, Shenzhen Zhou? Mopeds were a part of our last plan, and, well, our last Decker apparently had not a clue. Went off a residential road near the peak. Not pretty. Give me some Nguyen 888. And you're not the kind of person to experiment with substances during runs, right? And you could walk without falling, yes? These are some crazy interview questions. Are you serious, Shenzhen Zhou? Very. Let's talk about this face-to-face, okay? Give me some Nguyen 888. Oh, no more posts in the thread. Okay. Okay. Well, let's talk to Ractor. He should be pretty pleased. Ah, my friend, you've done an admirable job. An admirable job indeed. I've already incorporated the technology that you recovered, my stolen tech, into a new chassis that I'm fabricating for Koshei. You move quick. Yes, well, he tips a cigarette, a cone of burning embers tumbles to the ground. I've been waiting for this for a long time. Next time we take to the field, you can expect to find Koshei's combat effectiveness considerably improved. He has become truly deathless, just as his namesake was in the legends. When he takes damage, he will mend himself before your eyes. Sounds incredible. Can't wait to see it in action. Nor can I, my friend. He turns back to the whirring machines that fill his shop, watching their progress with hunger in his eyes. Nor can I. Anything else? Ractor's shop is curiously silent as you step down on the grated metal floor. The sound of your own footsteps reverberates through the echo chamber of the converted engine room. Welcome back, my friend. He leans against his desk. Is there something I can do for you? Quiet night in the shop, huh? Yes, a quiet night. He takes a drag at a cigarette. One best suited for contemplation, planning, and visions of the future. Can we care to pick up where we left off last time? His smile widens, light gleams off of strong, sharp teeth, lending him a predatory appearance. If you like, I must confess, I have rather enjoyed our talks. It's good to have a sounding board to bounce ideas off of. Sounding board, huh? That's what I am to you? Maybe agreed. Sounding board. Figure of speech. Please forgive me. I am by nature a solitary creature. I must confess that I sometimes forget how to interact with others. You are more than a sounding board. You are my equal. And a friend. Koshei scuttles forward, mechanical pedipalps weaving. Its motions are as alien and charged with menace as they've ever been. Ractor glances at the machine and takes a step back. He returns his attention to you with a smile. But enough of this maudlin talk. You had questions for me. Go ahead and ask them, please. I will answer whatever I can. You said that you sometimes forget how to interact with other people. An idiosyncrasy of mine, I suppose. When I get lost in my own head, relating to others becomes difficult. He smiles apologetically. It's nothing personal, just a quirk that I occasionally struggle to hide. Doing a pretty good job of it. You've always been friendly with me. But when you come down here, we talk about things that are relevant to my interests. That makes it easier. In any case, thank you. Your kindness is appreciated. Last time we talked, you hinted at Koshei being special in some way. Just want to hear the full story. Yes, I had figured that you might. Tell me, have you noticed anything unusual about Koshei in the time that we have worked together? He seems to react to your moods. It's weird. It's almost like he's almost more like an animal than he is a drone. He nods, his lips pursed. Yes, a good observation. Koshei's behavior could be described as animalistic, and for good reason. I'm waiting. The drone lowers itself, its killing legs splayed. Ractor looks to his drone, his head cocked, and then he returns his gaze to you. His behavior is not drone-like because he's not a drone. At least not in a way that you would understand. He is a prosthesis. What is he meant to replace? He isn't meant to replace anything, but he does contain a portion of me as surely as your brain sits within your skull. We are, in a way, a singular entity in two bodies, metal and flesh made one. You're gonna have to explain that. Koshei acts as a home for my primal animal impulses. The id, to use Freud's structural model of the psyche. The Analytical portions of my mind, the ego and superego, live on in me. They govern the id, and by extension, Koshei's behavior. When we're on a run and I rig into Koshei, I do not command him to attack, rather I loosen my grip on his reins and allow him to kill. He wants to hunt, to dominate, to bathe himself in blood. Reproduction would also be a drive if such a thing were possible. So if you were killed, Koshei would, what, run amok? No, my friend, of course not. Koshei is not capable of storing any part of a human mind. He simply doesn't have the capacity for it. If I were to die, he would fall dormant, the same as any other drone. One day, perhaps I will perfect him, and a part of me will live on his chassis after the meat of my body dies. But for now, I am satisfied to live with him as a combined entity, man and machine, joining through a form of neural parabiosis. Form of neural parabiosis into a single being. A beautiful first step into a post-human future. So that if I have to know a mad scientist, I'm glad he's on my side? Sure. He snickers. Well said, my friend, and the feeling is mutual. If I must associate with violent criminals, I suppose that I'm happy to call them friends. Okay, so you've rigged your drone to act as a home to your most destructive impulses. I gotta ask, why? As a proof of concept, primarily. There are other advantages, of course. I shouldn't have to explain the value of a combat drone that wants to kill. Fair enough. Okay, so tell me why you think we're gonna beat the essence limit. You hinted at it before, but I want to know. I could do that. I've already shared quite a lot with you. And you haven't run off screaming. A good sign, I should think. He studies your face, peering at you through the gloom. But tell me, Beej, are you certain that you want to know? Some secrets are less pleasant than others. You might prefer to leave this stone unturned. I want to know whatever you have to tell me, Ractor. I don't think it's because they're unpleasant. Sure, let's do that. Very good. There are things that you don't know about me, my friend. Important things. Please tell me this is done with you hitting on me. No, what kind of things? For one, I am not, how to put it, whole. What do you mean by that? There was an accident when I was young. A shop accident. I barely survived it. I am very heavily cybered, my friend. You wouldn't know it because I keep my enhancements hidden. Others have found them disturbing in the past. What sorts of enhancements are we talking about, or disturbing? How so? I prefer to know this. He uses the edge of his hand to trace a line across his hips. Everything below the mid-pelvis is replacement material. That's where I was sheared in half, you see. It's a miracle that I've survived the experience. The blood loss alone should have killed me, but here I am, alive and well, greatly improved in point of fact. Hang on. You lost everything below the hips? Yes, a traumatic loss to be sure, but not so terrible as you might think. By every conceivable measure, I have been improved since the time of accident. I am more than I was before, not less. You lost half your body. How could that not be terrible? He taps his temple with his fingers. Doctors installed stimulus generators in my brain when they repaired me. With these, I can mimic the full range of sensations that the human body is capable of producing. Imagine the ramifications of such a thing. The things that you could do, the things that you could experience. The implications for operant conditioning alone are staggering. Yeah, I guess. And so yes, I've lost the entire lower half of my body. The full ramifications of such a loss are obvious. But in return, I've gained so much more. At will, I can goad my brain into producing whatever sensation I wish. I can poke at the wiring of my own consciousness, and I can reroute that wiring as I see fit. Alright, so you have machine. What does that have to do with the essence limit? Spreads his arm. Look at me, Beej. I have a shred of essence left in me, and only barely that. But I've suffered none of the ill effects associated with traumatic essence loss. How can that be? A quirk of psychology, long viewed as an illness, but never properly understood. What I now understand to be an evolutionary adaptation to a post-human future. We will conquer the essence limit given time. Natural selection will see to it, and I am the proof. Alright, stimulus generators you've been implanted with, how do they work? Fucking stimulus generators. Just magic. The technology is rather akin to SimSense, but considerably more powerful and flexible. Most SimSense experiences, those found in BTL chips for example, are structured around basic narratives that provide their users with context. But if you strip away the veneer of escapist fantasy, what you have left is an extremely powerful toolkit. I never heard anything like that in the market, not even the shadows. Sure. I'm not surprised. The Russian technology government funded and quite experimental. He sucks in a cigarette, a thoughtful expression on his face. The project was cancelled shortly after I received my implants. Something about graft and corruption on the administrative level. Yet another example of good science derailed by bad politics. Have you heard of anyone else who's gotten these implants? I know of a handful of the recipients. From what I've heard, the others were all driven quite mad. To be handed control over the inner workings of one's own brain is a tremendous responsibility. He shrugs. Perhaps the others were well less equipped to handle it than I am. Or maybe they've driven you insane too. Ever considered that possibility? Of course, considered and rejected. The corner of his mouth curls into a wry smile. Granted, I could be wrong about that. Perhaps I am mad. But then, what would that say about you and your willingness to associate with me? So what else have you been keeping from me? I know there's a lot more to the story than this. There is, my friend, but nothing you can't wait until tomorrow. You have a lot to process, I'm sure, and I would like the remainder of the evening to myself. But if you come back later, I will finish the tale. Sure, Ractor, we'll talk tomorrow. Very good, rest well. I like that if you continue the conversation long enough, there's a, you don't get to come back to the any thoughts on that last run thing, I don't think. Yeah. Again, the shop is quiet. No hammering of metal, no whine of heavy machinery, nothing but the sound of your own footsteps and the low electric hum of Ractor's work terminal. The monitor above the work desk is alive with vibrant imagery, graphs, technical readouts, and reference images fill the screen. Oh, see, there we go. We can still talk about those things. He looks up at you, his face bathed in the blue light of the display. Ah, hello again, my friend. Back for more answers? I can take the time to talk if you can. All right, let's keep going. I want to continue our discussion from last time. There's some loose ends we need to tie up. Yes, my friend, I suppose there are. Go on then, ask your questions and let us see where your inquiries take us. Last time you spoke, you told me that essence loss didn't hurt you. I want to know why. Yes, I did tell you that, and I do owe you an explanation. He turns his head slightly, peers at you through the corner of his eye. Tell me, my friend, what do you know about essence loss and its effect on the metahuman psyche? Alright, let's see here. Losing essence kills a part of you. The more cyberware you get, the more detached you become from reality. Or essence loss removes your ability to feel anything and drive you psychotic if you go too far. I think it's the second one. He nods. Yes, that's right. And this detachment can be deeply traumatic for the sufferer. The literature is full of such cases. He levels his gaze, focuses it on your face. There's a smile on his face, but his eyes are devoid of warmth. Now, what would you say if I told you that after my accident and subsequent cyber surgery, I felt no different at all? That even in the beginning, I was completely unchanged? After my accident, I felt no different. In the beginning, I was completely unchanged. I'd ask if you knew why. I do, in fact. Would you like to know? That's why I asked. I was born with what society has deemed a psychological defect. Out of fear of social repercussions, I spent most of my life hiding it. I still hide it. Even now, the lessons of my childhood were not wasted on me, and I know the value of reputation. But since the accident, I've come to recognize this quirk for what it really is, a selective advantage. What is this? Let's see here. Don't leave me in suspense. Tell me what you're talking about. Yes, of course. I was diagnosed as a primary psychopath at the age of 8. Koshi scuttles forward, brushing up against Ractor's leg, metal on metal, separated by a thin layer of cloth. The drone's many eyes focus on you, irising wide open and bathing you in a dull red glare. Well, diagnosed is probably not the correct word. There's no formal diagnosis of psychopath in the DSM, but all the markers were there. I displayed a complete lack of empathy on the Davis Interpersonality Reactivity Index, and I scored a perfect 40 on the PCLR. A blood test showed that I had inherited a damaged gene that had been linked with aggressive behavior, and the activity level in my ventromedial prefrontal cortex is vanishingly low. Like autism, psychopathy is a spectrum, not a singular disordered. He dips his head smiling. But I'm definitely on that spectrum. What an interesting idea. So, I'm trying to guess whether this is one of those cases where it's like, any of these three will lead me in a direction, but we're going to branch slightly. We're not going to get to go through all three of them. I don't like 2. But I feel like I want to know more about 3. More than I want to know about 1. Yeah, illusion of choice. Thanks, Zyme86. Definitely. It's all about, I mean, at this point is kind of like, it's minor variations, I think, in how well we get along. So, yeah. Let's do 3. You said psychopathy? Psychopathy is a spectrum, so where are you on that spectrum, Ractor? Before I turned to the shadows, I was considered myself a pro-social psychopath. That is to say, I had the markers for psychopathy and expressed some of the expected behaviors, but I never killed anyone, at least not until it became a job requirement. Now I'm not so sure. I will admit there's a certain thrill to a profession. It's quite liberating being paid to hunt and kill other men. But I only indulge these appetites when I'm on the job, and I never bring my work home with me. I'm sure that this all comes as a great shock to you, but I'll tell you my condition is actually an advantage, one that protected me from the mental trauma of my accident and subsequent reconstruction. The psychological blow of essence loss can be devastating. This mental trauma is ultimately responsible for much of the damage and self-destructive behavior suffered by those who ride the razor's edge. Of course, there's a physical limit to how far the metahuman body can be pushed, but a normal person will reach his mental breaking point far in advance of this. The loss of self, the loss of capacity, is too painful to bear. But you didn't hit that breaking point. No, I did not. Indeed, I am quite certain that my breaking point does not exist. What does it matter to me if my capacity for empathy and conscience is stripped away? I never possessed either of those qualities in the first place. At this time, you've been calling me my friend. Does that word even mean anything to you? Wow, that's... Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Of course it does. The word has always carried a cerebral meaning. I can understand the concept of friendship and what it means to others. I know how important the feeling is, even if I can't experience it myself. People in my condition, my advantage, are not incapable of bonding with others. The only difference is that we do so on a cerebral level rather than an emotional one. I enjoy our association. I recognize the advantage in our being allies. I like talking to you. What better reason is for us to be friends? All right, you say your mental condition protected you from the trauma of essence loss. Got any proof of that? I have myself, my own experience. Nearly all of my essence was stripped away in a single stroke, and I didn't even notice. What more do you need? Actual proof. Your subjective experience doesn't qualify. No, I suppose not, but I know it to be true all the same. My hypothesis makes good sense. I have never possessed the sense of humanity that others hold so dear. If having it stripped away is traumatic, then it stands to reason that I would be protected from that trauma. Yeah. Academic. Yes, but this whole theory of yours is based on anecdotal evidence. You have a sample size of 1 Ractor. Yes, that is true. Still, I am certain that time will prove me right. More certain of it than I've ever been of anything. Call it a matter of faith, I suppose. I dislike the term, but it applies. If that's the way you want to play this, then fine, but don't expect me to buy into your belief system if it isn't based on facts. A fair point and a fair criticism. In time, I will endeavor to show you the proof of my beliefs. Until then, think of me as you would any other member of the team. Gobbet has a rat. I have this. It is mine, and you cannot take it from me. I wouldn't. The fact is it's like, at this point, somebody who is sure of who he is, like Ractor is so sure of who he is. Generally, psychopathy has that, like, you have that feeling when you think of that, where it's like, oh, this person believes themselves to be better than everyone else, and therefore, you know, elevates themselves to, like, kind of like megalomania, right? So it's not the same thing. But there's that kind of that sense of like, nobody else is as important here. But of course, in this case, it's like, I recognize that we are friends, that having allies is important, and that you're the leader of the team. I recognize all of these things, and it's appropriate for me to stay, you know, stay in my lane where I am at. He doesn't seem to have these delusions of grandeur. It's really interesting. You know, it's like he doesn't want to do anything against you. Right? It's not like there's no jealousy here, right? It's just like, I'm here to do the thing that I want to do. And that was to get back, like, to see the, you know, force a singularity between him and his drone, and to basically get back his research so he can move on. It's like he's accomplishing his goals. Why would he be upset with the situation that we find ourselves in, right? So, all right. Any thoughts about that last run? Most wonderful outing. Excellent. I have my research back, my prototypes returned, all thanks to you. Oh, I suppose that I could complain of Taylor and Hardingham's absence. I would have greatly enjoyed commanding Koshi to feed them their own entrails, but this is a small matter. I have my research, and I will catch up with them soon enough. Your choice to give away laser prototype that we discovered confuses me, though. Why did you bother? We didn't owe the other team anything. We were there first, and we were the ones who found the device. He waves away the thought. But it doesn't matter. A small thing, my friend, a trifle. The laser is nothing compared to my research. I'm in your debt. Now, what else would you have of me? This is a lot to process, Ractor. Yes, I'm certain it is. For what it's worth, I think that you're handling the information rather well. In the past, there were others who were more rigid in their thinking. I mean, I'm able to do that because this is a video game. When I revealed myself to them, they reacted badly. I'm quite pleased that you haven't done the same. Say that you were born the way you say that you were born the way you are. If that's true, then it's your fault. I can't hold you accountable for it, or I don't judge my allies on who they are. It's what they do that counts. Or I don't care if you're a psychopath or actor. I consider you a friend. I mean, I care that you're a psychopath. I'm glad we're friends and not enemies. Like the alternative sucks. But I think this is where I'm going to go. Can't hold you accountable. Do not speak of fault or accountability. Doing so implies that there's something wrong with what I am. I am exactly what I meant to be. Good point. This is how he believes that, right? The sooner that you accept that, the sooner your eyes will open to the glorious future that looms on the horizon. And now, if you don't mind, I would like you to leave. He turns back to his work desk. There's work to be done. Of course, Reactor, do your thing. We'll catch up after another run. He doesn't turn. Be well. Yes, his box of mementos. Let's talk to Gaichu. He came on the run. The cabin is silent aside from the occasional swish of air as Gaichu steps through sword forms. He holds each stance for a few seconds, practicing a given swing a few times before switching to the next. Hello, Beach. A single bead of sweat rolls down Gaichu's temple as he holds his position. After a few moments, he shifts to a relaxed stance, starting the form again. Pardon me for continuing my exercises. I feel that I have been letting them slip of late. You're worried you're getting rusty? No, that is not quite it. Rather, I wish to learn to bring my enhanced strength and speed to bear. In order to do so, I must ensure that my blindness does not hinder me. Perfection is a journey, not a destination. Gaichu lifts his sword, offering it edge first towards you. Do you see that edge? Forged by one of the finest swordsmiths in modern Japan. Diamond-coated edge capable of cutting even the most hardened ceramic armors. But what good is a sharpened edge without the precision to apply it? When I was still a man, I could have cut a single pea in half with my eyes closed. Oddly, after becoming blind, I cannot replicate this feat. Running the back of a claw along the blade's surface, Gaichu smiles thinly. I think soon I will be able to perform this feat again. I simply have to train my body to ignore the senses that it no longer has and pay attention to the new ones. Now, what is it that you would like to discuss? It's been difficult to learn to fight while blind. It's not the easiest thing I have attempted, but neither is it the hardest. Placing his sword off to one side, Gaichu turns to face you. Emptiness is form is one of the great lessons of the Hagakure. Trained sufficiently in both swordsmanship and obedience will come instinctively. That is the closest to perfection a man can attain. Oh, that's a hard choice. I didn't like number 1, but I almost like it better than number 2. I don't put a whole lot of stock in being obedient, or does this mean that in a perfect world you would have killed yourself when you got infected? Don't put a whole lot of stock in being obedient. Gaichu feigns surprise. A lawless Shadowrunner have problems with authority? My goodness, I never would have guessed such a thing to be the case. When I was new to the unit, I thought that to be a good samurai was the ultimate goal, that to serve justly with dedication was the greatest honor a warrior could have. We were all young and foolish once, I suppose. So what changed your mind? Beyond my disease? There was a fight in Fukuoka. My former team ambushed me. It had a singular effect on my worldview. We were taught that we were superior to everyone, that since we were pure humans and Japanese, we would always win. I believe that most never questioned the validity of this claim, even when confronted with direct evidence to the contrary. Alright, well tell me about when your old unit ambushed you. Very well. Gaichu draws his nails over his scalp, sighing. My time in Fukuoka was tense. Since leaving Keihanshin, I had been... Keihanshin. There's many syllables there. Keihanshin. I had been careful to stay out of sight by moving on foot or in the back of automated delivery vans. I was running out of food, however, and needed to be in a city for that. Fukuoka is just big enough to get lost in, but not so large that a ghoul sighting could go unnoticed. I hid in abandoned buildings and storm drain systems, and for 2 weeks I had managed to stay hidden. The strain of having to constantly move was wearing on me. However, I made a mistake. Well, what happened? I had to get out of Japan, but all my contacts in Fukuoka had come up empty-handed when I asked for a way to China. I was running low on money, and I could feel the team catching up with me. A contact of mine in Kumamoto owed me a favor and arranged passage for me if I could reach the city in 48 hours. Gaichu closes his eyes, resting his face in one palm. If I had taken my time, I could have made it to Kumamoto without incident, but I let caution slip when I got his email. I thought that if I disguised myself, I could take the train there, get out before my unit got any closer to finding me. I still don't know how they found me, magical tracking perhaps, or simply a well-developed spy network. Regardless, they found me. They were waiting for me at Hakata Station. It was an ambush. That's a very public place for an ambush. It is. I suspect their orders were clear. However, do whatever it takes to kill me, civilians expendable. For units like the Red Samurai, ordinary laws do not apply. The mission's success is the only concern. I had taken steps to disguise myself as the best I could, relying on the sheer number of people to conceal my presence. I suspected that the team might attack while I was in public, but I did not realize just how expendable the civilians were. When they blew the C4 charges over the station's western entrance just to box me in, I realized how much I had underestimated them. I assumed that a train had derailed, honestly, but then I smelled the telltale acrid vapor of the explosives. Gaichi wrinkles his nose in the memory. Once you smell it, you never forget. The plastic explosive that we used had a particularly sharp odor like old cheese. Something to do with an olfactory taggant added to help track it if it is stolen. Oh, interesting. I remember stumbling through the dust and debris, trying to find my way to the rail platforms. They attacked from all sides using the confusion to strike at once. I could hear Ishida and Takagawa behind me. Aomori and Sasaki charged out of an access corridor just ahead of where I'd been standing. Sasaki threw a firewall down behind me, cutting off retreat, while Aomori started firing. So you didn't have much choice but to defend yourself. Gaichi nods, lips pursed. Yes, that is so. Training took over. I knew I had to survive, and I was not thinking of anything but survival, so I charged Sasaki and Aomori. They were only 15 meters away from me. The only advantage that I had was that they were as blinded by the dust as I was, but I could still hear and smell them. Sasaki threw a lightning bolt at me, but I managed to roll under it. As I came up, Aomori's light machine gun was swiveling down. I felt time stretch out as I stared down the barrel. I caught Aomori in the throat with the tip of my sword. It was a maneuver I'd practiced hundreds of times before. There was no resistance as I cut through his trachea, and he fell as I rolled to the side. I could hear him choking for breath as he dropped. Gaichi exhales a humorless laugh and shakes his head. It is strange to think how clear that memory is even now. He was your friend. That kind of thing will stick with you. Gaichu snorts, waving a hand dismissively. Spare me the 2 million psychiatry. Obviously what you say is true, but the memory sticks with me so strongly for another reason. It was in that strike that I realized who I truly was. My whole time with the Red Samurai, I had focused on ensuring that I was worthy of the team. Everyone felt that way, but I felt it more acutely than most. I have always wanted to be the best, the fastest, the most precise. In the Red Samurai, I felt that to be less than perfect would be to let the team down. We were always told how lucky we were to have been accepted into the unit. The moment my sword struck Aomori, I knew that I would survive the fight. They attacked me as they would an animal. They seemed to be counting on hurting me into Takagawa and Ishida. Aomori didn't even try to get out of the way of my sword strike. I recall his eyes going wide. He looked surprised that I was using a weapon and not my claws. They underestimated you. Gaichu nods sharply. They thought they were fighting a beast. I would never have underestimated them as they did me. Well, except, I mean, you did, right? That whole point where they caught up with you because you made a mistake. But anyway. All the lessons I taught them about close combat thrown out the window as soon as their preconceptions entered the battlefield. Disgraceful. As I killed Aomori, I realized that it was not that I was unworthy of the Red Samurai, but they were unworthy of me. What did it mean that I, an infected monster that was less than a beast, could still defeat the finest soldiers in the world? Red Samurai doctrine taught Aomori and the others not to fear me, and this overconfidence would be their death. I realized I had progressed beyond their ability to understand. My sword was as accurate as ever, but they could not account for it due to ideological blindness. That is the danger of letting ideology over real facts. Precisely. All those years I was worried I was not good enough to be the member of the Red Samurai, that somehow they had been pulling my weight. But I had been blind to all of the ways in which we were not training, or had avoided the harsh truths about our own abilities. We were so often told of our own excellence that I wonder if we had ever truly been tested. Sasaki was the next to fall. As I turned away from Aomori, I realized that she must have seen me strike him. Her eyes were wide, and I could feel her fear and anger as she tried to summon another spell. She seemed caught between healing Aomori and attacking me. Gaichu taps himself on the forehead just above his right eye. It was there on Sasaki, a downward stroke from Jodan's stance. She had hesitated just as Aomori had. I felt the breath go out of her like someone who had deflated a tire. She just slid down into a pile. I think she was trying to ask me how when I ran. What about Ishida and Takagawa? My goal was survival, not victory. Takagawa was too far away and I did not see Ishida, I only smelled him, so I ran. The trains had been shut down due to the explosion, but as long as I could get out of Hakata Station, I knew I could escape. They did not follow me out of the city proper. From what I heard, via the Matrix, the event was reported as a terrorist attack that was thwarted by brave Renraku soldiers. Getchu snorts, lips curling downward. Brave, foolish soldiers. Okay. I need to go use the washroom. You guys should go have a quick break too. I know you didn't have much between Dice Friends and now, so this is your opportunity. We're going to take a quick commercial. Back in a few minutes. Go to commercial. Go to commercial. Oh, damn, right. My tea is steeping. Shoot. I just looked down, I'm like, damn, I want tea, but it's 12 a.m., as the ZA28 says, and I'm like, right, I put tea on to steep. I have to go rescue it. Oh my goodness. Well, you got a few seconds. If you're still grabbing tea or trying to do whatever, I'll be right back. Let me just get my tea. Right, okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, I was casting some powerful magic. This is, we have so much Murchie's tea here. Thanks to... Damn it. I'm sorry, I always forget the people's names who give us the stuff because I read it on mail time and I'm like, oh, that's really cool, and I recognize that name and it's all great. And it was from one of you who was in town and was like, you know what, I'm going to give you a taste of your own town. Why not? And you sent us a box full of our own stuff. Not our own stuff, but stuff that... our own stuff. You broke into the moon base and packed a bunch of stuff up and then just mailed it to us. But yeah, Murchie's, which is a tea vendor here in town. A very English tea vendor here in town. It is a Canadian institution, but they act very English. Got us a whole set of things, and I'm having apricot tea, which is really nice. I had to put sugar in it, which I wish I didn't have to do. I milked it and sugared it, but I wish I had the time. I would have gone and get the stevia extract out of where Heather keeps it. I've become very used to having stevia as a sweetener in a lot of things. I've even put it in tomato sauce because the sweet, to me, is just to counteract the acidity. And I tried it in tomato sauce. I'm like, actually, damn, that works pretty good. I'm surprised. You don't need a lot of it, obviously. But yeah, it's so I had to use just regular ass sugar. I should get some xylitol again. I was surprised to find out about xylitol. That it's like, oh yeah, this thing, it's a sugar alcohol that's derived from birch trees. And it's actually good for your teeth. That's why xylitol is in Trident sugarless gum. And why they crowed about how good it is for your teeth is because apparently xylitol like stops tooth decay. Which is shocking to me. I was like, I just thought they said, oh, it's because there's sugar in it. It's like, no, it's literally because of you chew this, and xylitol actually helps your teeth in different ways. I was really like, wow, that's damn. So, Xylitol's expensive though, and it's 25% of the calories of sugar, which is pretty good. You're only taking in 1/4 of the calories, which is nice. But I like stevia because it's 0 calorie altogether, and I do like the flavor of it. We get it in liquid extract form as opposed to anything else. And Morlingue says, I'm afraid to buy a whole thing of stevia because I don't know if I'd like it. Yeah, that's rough. We took a chance. And when we bought it, it was like it came in bottles that had eyedroppers in it, so you're using that to do whatever. But I was like, you know what? I'll spend the $12 and I'll see if this works out. And you can find smaller and smaller packets. I think what you might even be able to try, and Morlingue, I have no idea where you live in abouts in the world, but apparently Starbucks has been offering stevia at their seasoning counter. Where the milk and everything else is. I think you can get stevia there. So yeah, go to a cafe, and when you buy yourself a whatever, try the stevia there, or don't try the stevia. Take a couple packs home with you, and then see whether or not it's your stuff. Yeah. As Zyme says, stevia isn't technically 0 calories, but you're using so little of it that's effectively 0 calories. So anyway. And I like it. It's a different sweet than sugar is sweet. But I mean, all of them are different sweets, but they're all sweets in their own little ways, right? So let's move on with Gaichu's conversation. Let's grab the correct mouse to do that. Here's the mouse that is hooked up to the computer I'm playing on. All right. If you killed 2 of them, remember we were talking about his old team, why are they still hunting you? Gaiju does not answer immediately. He seems uneasy with the question, fidgeting with his fingers. I'm unsure why that would make a difference. Can you explain what you're driving at? If you train with your units so extensively, won't it be impossible to replace the ones you killed? Or the unit's down 3 members, why not give up on you? I think I know why the first one, it's like, no, this is a matter of honor, right? That's straightforward. The second one is different. Won't it be impossible to replace the ones you killed? That's more of a straightforward question. I see. I think your mistake is seeing this from a practical perspective. The problem is emotional, not mechanical. Folding his arms over his chest, Gaichu continues to explain. The nature of Red Samurai assignments is such that losses are generally 0 or the entire team. In those rare cases where Red Samurai teams suffer partial losses, the remnants of the impacted teams are shuffled together and undergo retraining. Oh. Sasaki and Aomori will undoubtedly be replaced. The problem is that I cannot be replaced. Simply put, I am not dead. Ordinarily, a missing Red Samurai would be considered dead for purposes of reorganizing teams, but Renraku knows precisely what has happened to me. What's more, my failure to do my duty reflects badly on the unit. Others will undoubtedly resist joining my former squad as it has been tainted. So until they kill you, nobody wants to join their club? Gaichu nods his assent. Yes, that is the case. They cannot move forward and rebuild the core of the unit unless I die, both because of their own expectations and the stain on their honor. Even if they accepted my decision, the rest of the Red Samurai would not. They've hunted me in Japan, Shanghai, and Beijing, and now I am certain they hunt me here in Hong Kong. The cycle will continue endlessly for the foreseeable future. Such is the way of things. Wouldn't it be easier to face them down rather than run? How do you mean? I have faced them several times in the past, in Fukuoka and in Shanghai. Unless you have a deeper meaning I am unaware of, I have already done as you suggest. You're capable of striking back at them. Why aren't more of them dead? No, you're simply letting them come after you. Take the fight to them. One way or the other, with either you or them dead, you've got to take action. You've got to take action, I think. What do you believe I have been doing? Gachu's face twists in annoyance. Certainly I have not been allowing them to attack me out of goodwill. Whoa. All right. Huh. Okay, if you're as good as you claim, you should have been able to finish this by now. That's awfully aggressive. I think sentimentality has left you unable to finish them off. That is not aggressive, but that is certainly like a finger in the eye he's not using. And then there's also, you define yourself by your opposition to your old life. That... I think it's very, I think it's awfully rough of me to say you define yourself by your opposition to your old life. To tell me, like for me to tell him this is how you're defining yourself, it's kind of like that's gonna piss him off. He already is mad, but it's like... And he reacts, differently than I expect in some of the ways I have asked him things. Like, I didn't expect him to react the way he did right now. It's a trap, yeah. And we definitely can't drop a save at this point, right? You're in conversation, you can't save. I think it's the second one. You define yourself by your opposition to your old life. What? Blinking a few times. Gaichi leans closer to you. I'm unsure that I clearly understand your meaning. Can you explain yourself more clearly? Think about it. You get to live as the Ronin Red Samurai and fairly cast out by his unit. Ah, and you believe that absent that opposition, I would have little to define myself. That is very cheap philosophy, Beej, and I'm worthy of you. Interesting. Does he need me to be shitty to him? I hate that sometimes in these conversations is like, is this the tough love aspect where you have to be like... Yeah, if I have to go back and redo all this other work, because it's having to go through Ractor's entire conversation as well. Oh well. Let's see here. What have you accomplished other than simply surviving? Maybe that. Drawing himself up and puffing out his chest, Gaichi glares at you. You tell me, what do you see? I am the creature that stands in front of you. What is it that I am in your opinion? He's not a free man. Fuck it. That's a cop-out answer and you know it. And your insistence upon labels is weakness. Why must you name a thing in order to understand it? You claim I am nothing without my unit, and yet you cannot answer a simple question. I am. I exist. That is the truth and sum total of meaning in it. There exists no objective, external force to impose meaning and value upon our lives. How I choose to survive is a facet of my life, but is not the totality of it. I seek to perfect myself, my skills and my ability in combat. Perhaps this is not the path I would have walked when I was younger, but I have been a soldier for so long that I cannot imagine devoting myself to any other trade. This does not mean that I am tied inextricably to my unit. It simply means I am shaped by my history, as are we all. That's okay. Yeah, good. I appreciate your concern about my history and my unit, but I assure you I am doing all right. I must learn to adapt to my new condition and lifestyle on my own. The time will come when they find me in Hong Kong. Ah, okay, that opens that then. I have a feeling. What does perfecting yourself mean to you anyway? I do not know. I am certain it sounds like an evasion, but it is not. There is no roadmap for being a ghoul who is also a freelance killer. I only know that my instincts are stronger now than they were when I was an ordinary man. Because of this, I must learn to make my own way in this world. There's no older teaching for me to reach for. Gaichi suddenly cocks his head. Is this why you're concerned about my history with the Red Samurai? Of course, I want you to make the most of your new life. Gaichi blinked several times, his surprise evident. That's remarkably kind of you, Beej. Were this a year or more ago, I would not believe you. After having seen how you handled the Wampoans, however, I do. I'm no longer simply a man. This is a fact of my life. I am beyond that. I do not know if I am better for it, but I know that I am different for it. The fact that I am different, however, cannot be denied. Oh man, he is so good. I love his writing. I love V writing. Oh, God. You guys did a great job, Hairbrain Schemes. This is really nice. I put a question to you then. If you had been changed into a ghoul, what would you do? How would you improve yourself and learn to live with your condition? Asking me that point blank, actually, like, not even just the character, just asking me that. It's like, what would I do? You know what? The first thing I'd do is I'd go turn the AC back on, because it's after 9 o'clock and the AC shuts off at 9. I'll be right back. I can just feel it getting warmer in this room specifically because the main room is cooled enough. I mean, I like to think I'm pretty practical, that I would be like, I'd make the best of my new abilities, change his power. I do like, though, I wouldn't forget what it means to be human. That doesn't talk about how I'm improving myself, though. Though I'd love if I go, I have no idea, and he's like, now who's evading the question? I guess maybe then the second one. I mean, Gaichu's this, he's in a position where a lot of people who were human, like, let's take the Ka-Fi family, for example, right? They all goblinized. They all turned into trolls. Trolls, I believe it was trolls. Yes, anyway, they had to go through that change. They had to react to all of that. It's complicated. Gaichu, the fact is that the Ka-Fi family has a whole bunch of other people around them who are all going through the same thing, and they've been all going through it together for quite some time, and hopefully you're able to use that as an opportunity to learn, like, how do you deal with this kind of thing, but you can see that's having an effect on them. On the family, like, you know, Ermin's still thinking of what it was in the past. Henry, I think, is still thinking about what it was in the past. Gaichu here, this is recent, unexpected. Nobody else has had this happen to them where, like, so few people have been in a position that he's in where it's like, he is different. And he is different in a way that is unusual and that nobody else can help him step through. He basically, I imagine, feels like I am locked inside my own head with what it is I can actually, like, I have to define what I need to be by what it is that I think that I am. And I think it's the first one, really. I wouldn't forget what it means to be human, because it's like, that's... Being human in this context is way more than just what you eat and what you can do with yourself. There's more going on here. There's something in the head. There's something about the mind that this is important, you know? I can definitely, like, do the third one and be like, I've never been in your position. You know, like, I don't know how to do it. But it's like, yeah, and also, I'm not human, right? Like, as an elf, right? It's like, so it's like, if you're thinking of, like, everybody still who is metahuman, whether you're, you know, you're unchanged, or whether you're an elf, like, because I think some people might have been human and then elfed. I don't know if you can. Or if the goblinization thing is like some people became trolls, but then other trolls like showed up. I'm not entirely certain, but it's like, if I'm an elf in as much as I'm ones who like stepped through, like, from Tir na Nog kind of deal, and like, oh yeah, here we are now, right? This is we've always been through the veil, but now we're back. We're living on Earth. Regardless of how I came about that, it's still like the meta-humanity thing. We're all still okay, so the awakening caused people to become elves. So it's like, we all still started as humans, and then we all went through a change. And yet, Gaichu's become a ghoul. Like I might have become an elf, or I was born into being an elf. Gaichu became a ghoul. This is post-awakening. You think there'd be lots of stuff about, well, this is what happens, you know, post-awakening, you become this different thing, but it's also like, you are shunned and reviled because of this, and nobody really thinks about what it would be like to be a ghoul that still possesses the same faculties as all the other metahumans. So, I wouldn't forget what it means to be human. Let's just do that one. But I'm not human, not any longer. To be a ghoul is to be as different from a human as it is to be a troll. More so, in fact, as trolls are closer to men than I am. The changes are not only physical, as I mentioned before. My mind is more instinctive now, and reasoning is more difficult. I tend to react quickly without thought. That is also generally will turn the tide in my favor. That's an interesting thing to know about you, though. I hope that's understood through the rest of the writing, because then I have to tread a little more carefully with how I say things to him. Gaichu squares himself, nodding several times as if agreeing with his own internal dialogue. Warriors must learn to push their body and soul to the utmost limit. So too it is with me, but my body and soul are no longer that of a man. I must learn to use these differences as an advantage rather than a handicap. Perfection is not a destination, it is a journey. One must strive to be the purest form of oneself that one can be. What will you do about your unit when they come looking for you in Hong Kong? I am unsure. You've given me a great deal to consider, and I do not mean that lightly. There are several actions and possible outcomes I foresee. I could, as I have before, relocate to another city, flee Hong Kong, travel to somewhere further afield, Lagos perhaps, or Montreal. It would have to be someplace where Renraku's influence was minimal, where the unit's presence would be immediately noticeable. This has been my plan of action in the past. I could also keep a low profile, staying here. Hope that they are unable to find precisely where I'm hiding. Undoubtedly, Ishida would command the team to keep looking. I believe it would only be a matter of time before they found me, but if it were a sufficiently long time, they might be recalled. I could also confront them, draw them out into the open at a time and place of my choosing. They are nothing if not predictable in their efforts to follow Red Samurai operational doctrine. That plan could succeed, but it could also put you and civilians at risk, and I'm unsure how I would draw them out in the first place. This feels okay. This sucks because it's like the model of the game is generally feels like everybody gets a side mission that's personal. So me saying you need to find a way to fight them is the way probably to get that side mission. There's nothing wrong with hiding out or bide your time and get out of Hong Kong after they become complacent are probably two really good pieces of advice that I could give. But if I want a side mission, I feel I do this. I need to find a way to fight them. Gaichu sighs, shoulders slumping a little. I'm unsure if that is the wisest course of action. I'm going to need to think about this a great deal. Please, let me think on this. I will have an answer later. Sure thing, I'll talk to you later. Do you want to tell me about your thoughts on the last one? Oh, in the darkness of the cabin, Gaichu's hunched over a pile of keepsakes. He's unpacked most of his box, and the contents are lying strewn about the floor in a disorganized mess. The ghoul gingerly picks through them, turning each one over in his fingers as he feels their shapes. He addresses you without looking up. Please mind your step, Beej. I fear I've made a mess, and many of my possessions are quite delicate. I would be rather upset if you were to accidentally crush any under your feet. After a small moment, he places the one he holds, a small ceramic statuette of Daruma, to one side. Lifting his face, he touches his brow and salute. I apologize for the mess. Why have you got all this out on the floor? Gaichu gingerly begins collecting his things and arranging them back into the box. I'm simply thinking about the chain of events that have brought me to Hong Kong. I've been considering our talk with about my former unit, about what my plans are with regard to their incessant hunt and need for closure. I begin to think that I too need closure. Here we go. An end not only to the hunt, but to our dance around the core issue. One of us must die that the other might live. As it is, we are locked in stasis. How do you plan to accomplish that? That is the question I have bent my mind to answering since last we spoke. It is not an easy question to answer. My initial thought was to strike at a secure Renraku holding, something valuable enough to draw the attention of the Red Samurai, and ensure that Renraku reported that a ghoul was involved in the mission. It turns out that was not necessary. Began searching the Shadowrun BBS for any jobs against Renraku holdings here in Hong Kong. Gaichu taps his braille reader with one toe. It's surprisingly easy to use the Matrix when you can read postings with your fingers. Slower than direct interface, but it's certainly possible. I also began to offer reward for information to Red Samurai teams known to be in the city. A modest reward, nothing that would attract too much attention, but enough to keep people interested. Gaichu grins thinly, cradling his chin in one hand. This bore fruit. A Red Samurai team arrived here a short time ago, smaller than normal size. Sounds like it could be them. It is definitely them. My contact described Ishida and Takegawa perfectly, as well as a new heavy gunner, most likely from another disgraced squad. What's more, he described a woman who looked exactly like Sasaki with a scar here on her forehead. Gaichi draws a finger down across his brow over his right eye, precisely where I cut her. How are you going to draw them out? Simply put, I intend to lure the team into responding to an action they believe to be perpetuated by an ordinary Shadowrunner and ambush them. Then I will kill them. All of them. Once that is done, I can be free. I found a job I'm certain will draw a Red Samurai response. Renraku is moving a prototype drone through Hong Kong on the way to a research facility in Chiba. It is of a new design implementing machine learning and pseudo-intelligence. Got you stand smiling wryly. Something that advanced would certainly attract a Red Samurai team should someone attempt to steal it. If another team responds, that would be impossible. Red Samurai are stationed at research facilities, black laboratories, and other high-security areas. Renraku has no such facilities in Hong Kong at the moment, as most of their holdings are of that type are in Taiwan. My former unit will be the only one close enough to respond to the threat. The Johnson for this run is a Renraku scientist escorting the drone. He wishes to leave Renraku's employ, but is unwilling to risk reprisal should he escape on his own. To put it simply, he wishes to make it look like he was killed during a robbery, hence why he wishes the experimental drone stolen. If there is no body, there will be no investigation into his whereabouts. So we can kill two birds with one stone? Gaichu inclines his head in agreement. Precisely. I can rid myself of my pursuers, and he can be free of their yoke. While I owe this man no loyalty, I think I understand his sentiment. Besides, we will be receiving payment for a job. Let me ask you some questions about this run before I agree to anything. Very well. Gaichu leans back on his heels, lifting his chin. What would you like to know? How do you know it's not a trap? Fair question, but one with a simple answer. Red Samurai are very risk-averse. Part of our training is to always put our lives on the line in defense of the company. Risking this drone in their quest for vengeance would be unthinkable. Gaichu gestures at a stack of chips laying nearby. I did my own digging. The shipping schedules line up perfectly to place the drone in Hong Kong, and Red Samurai would not have the authority to fake such records unless ordered to by their superiors. As I am the unit's private shame, this would not become a larger corporate matter. There is no profit in killing me for the company, only for the unit. All right. How do you know the drone would rate a Red Samurai response? Before I was infected, we escorted and guarded similar projects in the drone division. While I am unsure whether this one belongs to precisely the same research division, they are close enough to make Red Samurai involvement a certainty, in my opinion. Drone research is one of Renraku's main advantages over larger megacorporations. Ares controls military hardware, Seda Krupp has their heavy industry, but Renraku is the foremost drone development company in the world. No one else even comes close. Renraku will deploy Red Samurai to protect that advantage. Rely on it. So you can take them all on yourself? Gaichu shifts, running a hand over his bald head. He looks away embarrassed. Well, I was hoping you would help me, you and the rest of the team. I may be able to kill them all myself. It is possible, but as I said before, I tend to give myself every possible advantage. That includes you, Wu, Gobbet, and the rest of the team. More guns means a higher chance of victory, and that's the proper way to lay a trap. So he names me, Duncan, Gobbet, and then the rest, and all the rest here on Gaichu's Isle. So I'm like, I think he wants me, Duncan, Gobbet, and him to go do the run. Not Ractor, not Isabel. Which seems reasonably good. Like, I like taking Isabel because she has the grenade launcher. I like, I mean, I might also like Ractor for this, just because it's like, his drone is ridiculous. Yeah, or the writers just went for characters that would still be alive at this point. Maybe. Joxer, no, you meet Gobbet and Isabel at the top of the thing, at the top of the game, so they're with you. I mean, if they had died. Also, nobody dies in Shadowrun Hong Kong. Apparently, if somebody gets killed in action, they get like airlifted out essentially. If you finish the mission, which means you succeed, which means you didn't die, they get taken out of the area where they died and get dragged off to wherever, and then you get dock wagoned, kind of, not really, like you get, because you carry dock wagon trauma kits, but the actual dock wagon I think probably comes free after that. Yeah. Yeah, except for the first time, and then those people died, and you'll have to watch the earlier VOD or play the game yourself. And I recommend playing the game if you like XCOM games, XCOM-ish games that are also very, have so much talking. This is a very good talky RPG. I really like it. All right, I know enough. Good. Guy Chief Simpson easily. He's going to be sniffing the air in anticipation. Wait, what, may I ask, is your decision? Sounds good to me. When do we leave? As soon as you're ready, I will message Mr. Johnson and let him know that we are prepared to fake his murder and be ready for our arrival. Suggest you prepare as well. The Red Samurai are excellent combatants, not to be taken lightly. Anything else? Nope, just he's ready to go when I am. Doesn't hurt to do last minute inspection. Message you from the NTR station when you're ready. Well, you know, we've got a lot of talking to do. So much more talking to do. Hey, Duncan. Oh, shit. Should have saved. Damn it. You walk into a mess. Half-eaten cans of food litter the floor, and personal equipment is strewn about in a haphazard fashion. Amid the mess, Wu sits in his bunk with his Mac against the wall. He's a PDA in his hands. He's staring down at sullen and morose. He doesn't acknowledge your entry. That's different. He's kind of just giving himself up back to his old life, it seems like. Want me to come back later? Doesn't matter. You just look up, go, stay, whatever. Assume you're here to talk. He didn't come on the last run. What are you looking at in the PDA? A video of Edward Sang. Can I see it? Sure, why not? Dewey taps a button, turns the PDA around so you can see it. The footage shows a serious Chinese man in an expensive suit sitting behind a large solid wood desk covered in blueprints. The man is holding a magnifying glass over one of the plans and studying it intently. He folds the blueprint over and checks the one beneath it. The nameplate on the desk reads, Edward Sang, Vice President of Special Projects. The video is rough and contains no sound. It may have been footage for a documentary that was never completed. The next shot is from some sort of planning meeting in a glass-enclosed conference room. The serious man is sitting at a conference table pointing to a large map and looking up at the men standing around him, explaining something. They look at each other and nod, clearly impressed by what he has to say. The whiteboard at the end of the room bears the words groundbreaking, 21st May 2022, written in bold characters, Raymond's writing. The footage cuts to a scene of two people talking at the end of a long hallway. They don't appear to know that they're being recorded. It's the serious man, listening intently to what an older woman has to say, nodding with his arms crossed and his thumb at his lips. The woman is the same one that was in the tapped video call that Kindly Chang shows you, Josephine Sang. She is somewhere in her late middle age, beautiful and very clearly in charge. The two look up at the same time, see the camera, and begin waving their hands for it to be turned off. The woman appears angry but cold. The video ends and Wu puts the PDA face down on his bunk. Wu shrugs his shoulders, searches your eyes. Who is that guy? Edward Sang, Vice President of Special Projects with Sang Mechanical Services. Yeah, that's what it looks like, but I still don't believe it. Maybe when we find the plastic face man, we'll get some more answers. Until then, he stays Raymond Black to me. I'm thinking about the way you and Raymond used to butt heads. What about it? Never really had that problem with him. Of course not. You knew how to avoid conflict with him. And you had that way of diffusing him when he started with that Intenso Ray thing that he used to do, remember? Intenso Ray. I haven't thought about that in a long time. I think you were the one who came up with that name. It was like the summer after we started living with him and Mrs. Maloney. Raid found out that we hadn't followed one of his rules. I don't remember which. There's a long list. About some NERPs. NERPs! There's no day until you graduate. That was when he... So, I get to establish some stuff here. What was it going to be? That was when he found out you'd broken his no dating until you graduate rule. No, it wasn't about David. That was the... Holy shit! Wow! Just slid that right in there. No, it wasn't about David. That was the following summer. I think it was about smoking. Yeah, that's right. I was smoking, and he was pissed and said that fat kids who smoke die faster. So just to be obstinate, told him I liked to smoke, and we got into it. Then you came in and diffused the whole situation. Wu stops talking. His expression becomes thoughtful. I think that's why I was so resentful when you took off, especially after Mrs. Maloney died. You were the only one who could get through to him when he became Intenso Ray. I did have talent for getting Raymond to calm down when you two started going at it. Especially that last time, the week you left. Wu's expression hardens. He picks up the PD again. I don't want to talk anymore, Adam. I've got enough on my mind as it is. Stuff like my father betraying my trust. Are we done? We're done. Oh, piss. Right, I forgot to save. Thanks. Isabel glances up at you. Your expression is grim. BH, I come to a decision. I want these memories out of my head. They're an unpleasant distraction. I was happier without them. When then all this is over, I'm deleting them. To hell with locking them away again. I'm going to purge my childhood altogether, shred the memories, and move on. As added bonus, it'll clear up a lot of headwear memory. I was thinking that I could store some SimSense recordings up there. Maybe make it so when I try to remember my past, I get summers on the beach instead of sorrow and pain. Wow. I like that it's like, here, if you think it'll make you happy, I say do it. They're your memories and it's your decision, right? It's like, oh, there, that's support. Then there's, you're going to run away from your past again, or, you know, purging them will kill that part of you again, or you want to replace the truth with the fantasy, and it's just kind of like, it's like it's saying, hey, look, you've got 3 different opportunities to pick a fight and maybe push her to do something difficult. Because as she said, these memories, because they got written into headwear, don't fade, because there's something about memories for people that fades with time, right? Like you think about something, you think about it enough, and then eventually it kind of, you know, the sharp edges get rounded off the more you think about stuff like that, right? For some reason the pain of it dulls over time. You spend a lot of time mired in it, and your brain eventually finds a way to work around that so you don't feel that as intensely as you do. And she's saying, no, it doesn't stop, because they're no longer this malleable thing, right? It's like, this is a thing in a part of my brain that's a digital copy, and that's just, you know, I'm going to remember it over and over, as fresh and as vivid as always. She says that, and I'm just like, well, shit, that sucks. And I don't think you should have to deal with that. You know, you already know that you've given up this piece of yourself. I don't know if it's doing anything for you or not. You spent a long time not having to understand that. And if you get rid of those memories, like, I would almost be like, maybe what you want to do is get them out of your own head to somewhere else, so that you might have a way of experiencing them if in the future without having to put them back in your brain. Like facing them separately, like on a screen or something, if you can do that. I have no idea what's possible in you know, in this world. So I kind of want to say, you know, yeah, as a video, right? Like, if you think that make you happy, and say do it. They're your memories and it's your decision. You're damn right it is. These memories can still help us, so I'll tough my way through it for now, but when it's all over, they're going out the way of the dodo, period. She squeezes her eyes shut, rubs the bridge of her nose between thumb and forefinger. Anyway, I guess you're here with more questions, right? Let's get them answered then. I got a question about the walled city. All right, go ahead. Anything else you can tell me about the Yama Kings? Yeah, I got another one for you if you want it. I can't say whether it's based on any kind of truth or not. That's for you to decide. But it was always popular when I was growing up, especially with the other kids my age. You'll see why we liked it in the end. You piqued my curiosity. Okay, this one is about a boy named Gordon Yam and how he saved his mother from a fate worse than death. As the story goes, Gordon was the cleverest boy in the walled city. He could steal whatever he liked without getting caught, could sneak into any room unseen, and could talk his way past any grown-up that might try to stop him. You get the picture, a real hero figure for the 9-year-old set. So one day, Gordon's mother fell ill. It was a bloody flux brought on by a curse, and it was going to kill her. She told Gordon that he should accept her death. The curse had come from a Yama King, and there was no medicine that could prevent it from claiming her. She begged him to run, to escape the walled city, and to use his cleverness to make a life for himself somewhere far away. Gordon loved his mother, and he refused to obey her request. Instead, he searched high and low for a way to save her life. For a long time, nothing came to him. Finally, he happened upon an old man who told him about a powerful Yama King that could cure any ill for a price. Which Yama King? One of the ones you told me about, or a different one? Different. He doesn't have a name, or he did, but because of what happened, speaking it is taboo. The story's a little fuzzy on the details. We always just called him the Nameless King. So Gordon went out in search of the Nameless King. He made his way through tried territory past the Thrill Gangers and the Organ Leggers, you know the drill. Eventually made to the inner walled city, where he found the Nameless King's court. The human servants of the Nameless King took Gordon to stand before the creature they worshipped, and Gordon proposed his deal. Nameless King, he said, I need your help. My mother is dying of an ill that only you can cure. That may be so, said the Nameless King. But what is it to me? What will you offer me if I spare her? If you will restore her to health, I will join your court in repayment. I, the cleverest boy in the walled city, I will serve you loyally and well. The Nameless King was excited then, for he knew of Gordon's cleverness, and he coveted the little boy's soul. Gordon pulled a braid of his mother's hair from his pocket and held it out before the Nameless King. A lock of my mother's hair, O king, he said. Cure her of this flux, and I am yours to command as you please. The Nameless King worked his magic, and Gordon's mother was cured. Alright, so what happened then? Did Gordon join the Nameless King's court? No. When the Nameless King turned on Gordon, he laughed in the monster's fate. I have tricked you, Nameless King, for my mother was the property of another of your kind. In curing her, you have robbed a Yama King of his dinner. The Nameless King raged and turned on Gordon, his razor blade fingers flexing wide. Before he could bring his arm down in a killing stroke, he was caught in the grasp of 1,000 hooks, claws, and fangs. The Yama Kings, all of them. You have stolen from one of your own kind, brother, said the Yama Kings. Her life was not yours to save. Gordon slipped away as the Yama Kings descended on their brother. He did not watch as they tore the Nameless King apart and bathed in his steaming viscera. He made his way back home to his mother, who was cured. And that was the one time that a living boy outwitted a Yama King. She stretches, cracking her back, clears her throat awkwardly. And that's the story. Like I said, you can see why we liked it. It's basically a fairy tale, and the little boy wins in the end. It's the only story about the Yama Kings that contains even a shred of hope. What do you think it means? I don't know. Probably doesn't mean anything. It's just a story, is all. You're the one who asked. Anyways, anything else you want to know? There's a man here in Heyo who's ranting about the Yama Kings. His hair had gone white with fear, and I watched him die. She nods miserably. Yeah. Yes, it happened when I was a king too. Not often, but occasionally. People would have bad dreams and then become obsessed with them, consumed by their own dread. When I was a kid, we viewed it like a kind of local malady, dream madness. Mostly affected people with other problems, dementia, paranoia, phobias, that kind of thing. People just shrivel up and die because of the dreams? Basically, but like I said, it didn't happen often. I remember one old woman, Auntie Y. King. She had skin like parchment paper, and she baked egg tarts for the neighborhood kids. We liked her. She was good. One day, Auntie Y. Kung didn't come out of her apartment. She was always up and about by 6 or 7 in the morning. It was part of her routine. For her to sleep past noon was unthinkable. Naturally, the grown-ups assumed that she'd passed in the night. She was old and frail, and it was bound to happen sooner or later, so neighbor Mr. Ejide went in to check on her and collect the body. I don't like where this is going. Neither did Mr. Ejide. She wasn't dead. What he found was much worse than that. She pauses, looks you in the eye. You probably don't want to hear the rest. Oral surgery was involved. Yes, I do. You recover these memories for us, and the least I can do is listen to them, okay? Warning to everybody. Oral surgery was involved. Here it comes. Alright, your call. Auntie Y. Kung had been busy that morning. She put her knife skills to work on her own tongue, carved it out, plated it, and ripped out most of her teeth for garnish. She'd bitten down on a coal from the fireplace to keep from bleeding out. You think that a dream made her do this? Yes, she did what she did to protect herself from Qian Ya. How so? The old stories all said that Qian Ya would claim you as a slave by tying your tongue into a knot. No tongue, no slavery. The old lady didn't want to take any chances. Unfortunately for Mr. Ejide, she didn't want him to take chances either. She was a sweet old thing, always looking out for her neighbors. Thanks to the dreams, she knew what was at stake. She wanted to help. The other adults didn't make it into Auntie Y. Kung's apartment in time to save Mr. Ejide's jaw. It was hanging by a thread by the time they got there. She'd always had a steady hand with a cleaver. Did he live? Yes, but I think he wished he hadn't. Replacing a jaw is expensive. Mr. Ejide had no money. He had to settle with a life of miserable silence, hiding the wound in his face and slurping broth through a tube. As for Auntie Y. Kung, she suffered an aneurysm, dropped dead as the grown-ups were trying to get her to what passes a clinic in the Mansion District. But she died with a smile on her face. She knew that her soul was safe. That's all for now. Can we talk about something else? Please, to be honest, almost anything else would be preferable. Alright. Walled City question again? No. Any thoughts of that last run? I'm pretty happy with how that turned out, mostly because with Ares, the alternative is leaving in a body bag, especially when you're stealing a prototype laser. Good pay for a good night's work, and that's what this business is all about. If you can walk away and get paid, it's been a good job. Kinda wish we kept that laser, though, because, hey, it's a laser. That's awesome. But you did the decent thing, really. You helped those runners out, let them keep their rep, and both of us could get paid. That's a good quality in a team leader, and I'm glad I got you running the show. Anything else you want to know? I've got to go, Isabel. Sure, drop by anytime. Save! He said. He yelled into the microphone. Game saved. Gob it. She's gone, Beej. I don't know where she ran off to, but she looked upset. She just said something about friends in trouble and then left. By the time I could disconnect him from the octopus, she was on her way out of town. She must have gone back to the sinking ship. I don't like the sound of that. She said we went down there all those years ago. The mutiny? Yeah, she's been having bad dreams about the place. Yeah, she's worried about Cadmus and Melvina. Mutiny? Yeah, she's been having bad dreams about that place ever since. She's worried about Cadmus and Melvina. She said nothing but the mutiny. She turns her back and begins grabbing her. Well, we better go and get her, hadn't we? Let's do it. We're going to arrange transport out to Hung Hom Bay. You come meet me at the docks when you're ready. Just like that, Isabel's like, all right, let's go get her. Drop another save. Get some rest. Actually, does it matter if I get any rest at this point? Is it just more fun if I just go? I feel like every time like the last time I bunked, I had the same passage of time thing. Maybe we just roll on. Maybe it's okay to just do that. Is it better to rest? From people who know? People saying sleep, sleep, sleep. Sleep until you no longer can. That's an interesting idea. Alright, let's have a sleep. For the first time since you got to Hong Kong, you wake up feeling well rested and satisfied. Flexing your limbs feels glorious, as though you spent hours cramped up in a confined space and you can finally stretch your legs. Climb out of bed. You push yourself up and touch your feet to the ground, but something stops you short, your mouth. Something is wrong with your mouth. Run your tongue over your teeth or investigate with your hands. Run your tongue over your teeth. You let your tongue move over your teeth until you've reached the problem area. Molar on the upper left side. It feels strange. You apply a little pressure to the tooth and it slides free from its moorings, as if nothing was ever holding it in place to begin with. As the tooth comes free in your hand, an image etches itself into your mind. A great chamber, hazy in form and outline. Clouds of red mist that fill the air, perfuming it with salt and copper. Great columns stretching up from the ground to pierce the sky, and above it all, the enormous grinding gears of a broken machine. In the distance, you can hear a sound. A desperate, frantic pounding. Something enormous at the door. Many somethings, all desperate to get in, scrabbling and scratching and scraping, but unable to find purchase. The way in is locked. You feel a tremendous sense of accomplishment. You've done it. The others are trapped outside, blind and starving, unable to pass through the door. The chamber and what lies beyond it are yours. Shrill giggling noise fills the air like the laughter of a small child, mixed with a shivering screech of countless violins. The sound reverberates down your spine like an electric current. The intoxicating aroma of meat fills your nostrils. You've been starving for 1,000 years. Soon it will be time to feed. Just like that, it's over. The images fade, dissipating like vapor. Only the tooth in your hand remains. That was... My tooth coming out was real. Is it a mission item? Tooth. I guess not. Alright. I think we're going to go help Gobbet. I think I'm going to take that mummy with me as well while I'm at it. Oh, now I definitely go talk to these guys about dreams, I bet. Keen. Nope. Nope. It's all done. Alright. NPD. Alright, so we have to go... I gotta catch Gobbet on the sinking ship, right? Let's drop yet another save. My worry is that every time I save now, because it feels like this thing that's scratching at the edge of the walled city that's trying to get out and just get everywhere. It's because we're getting the dreams. My worry is that every time I'm saving or every time I'm resting, I'm pushing the world, like I'm pushing the time forward. I'm saying now it is time for another thing to happen. Excuse me. And that's pretty soon I will be unable to do that, to stop doing that. Captain Jomo is busily playing some kind of gambling game on his comlink. It beeps and flashes as he taps away. Come on, Jomo, win, not lose. Maybe buy yourself that new hat. Doesn't appear to have noticed you at all. Game makes a sad, defeated noise. Jomo curses under his breath, nose wrinkling in disgust. Finally seems to notice you. Stupid game. Always it cheats me. Never a good hand. Now, kindly Ching sends you, huh? You need Captain Jomo to take you to play pirate? We can do it later. Right now I need a favor. What favor can Jomo do for you? You need a body dumped at sea? I can do it fast. No one will see. Maybe you need to hide some cargo on a beach, make a map with X marks the spot. Captain Joe burst into hearty laughter, slapping his side in mirth. You need to take me to the sinking ship. Ah, easy la. I know exactly where that heap of junk is. Lead the way then. That's it. These are my choices. I like her big purple grenade launcher. Isabel must be present, and nobody else is. This will be an interesting mission. Sinking ship. Hung Hom Bay. Captain Jomo's converted speedboat chops through the rough water like a cleaver through chicken bones, launching you skyward with every wave that it hits. Your destination, the sinking ship, Gobbet's former home. The orc pirate laughs and opens the throttle. Wind and rain lash your face as the floating amalgamation of shipping containers grows larger. You can see that it's stacked at least 3 containers deep. An elegant brick of corrugated weathering steel. An assortment of pontoons, buoys, and other flotation devices have been lashed to the base of the raft to prevent it from tipping. You don't know what's happening here, why Gobbet felt the need to go face it alone, but one way or another, you're about to find out. All right, that. This is probably fine. Maybe I take that mummy spirit for the first time. Yeah, maybe. And maybe you take that, and maybe I feel like giving you that's probably not a bad idea either. Cool. That's me wearing those clothes. Shiawase streetwear cowl. I think I look cool in this. Yeah, I look cool. Yeah, I kind of want to use the mummy. I mean, it's a free talisman. I don't know if this is the one where I want to use it or not, but I feel like it might be quite powerful. I just wonder what'll happen if I use it, and I'm like, do I use it on Gobbet's side mission, or should I actually be holding on to it for later in the run? I mean, it is a mega elixir, you know, and I am going to fight fucking Sephiroth at some point. That's the thing about this whole RPG shit that I have a problem with, is it's always like, save the really powerful thing. This happens to me in Breath of the Wild all the time, too. It's like, oh, sweet, I got these awesome ancient, you know, ancient axe and ancient, like, guardian sword and all that kind of crap. I'm like, nice, I got all these things. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put them on the wall at my house so I can save them, and when the time comes for me to actually fight a lot of guardians, which is, I'm at the end of the game at this point, time to go fight Ganon. It's like, am I going to take these things with me? So anyway, yeah. Yeah, it's always a, yes, sweet, now to never use these. So let's move on. The scramble up the side of the sinking ship was treacherous. You hauled yourself up over the edge with your heart hammering in your chest. That's not really that big a deal. Clawing for perches against the wind and driving rain. Walking on the surface deck isn't much better. The steel you're standing on is slick, sheeted with water from the rainstorm that hammers down from above. Well, it never stops raining here. Every time you shift your weight, you can feel your feet begin to slide. There are no safety rails in sight. A slip, a rogue wave, it wouldn't take much to send you screaming over the edge of the raft into the dark water below. This thing is a wreck, Isabel says. Isabel gingerly prods at a rusted section of the container that you're standing on with her boot. It depresses easily with entirely too much give. I can't believe Gobbet ever chose to live here. Hello, that was weird. Her descriptions of the sinking ship, I didn't expect it to be this bad. Yeah, she always told me the lady in charge. What was her name? Melinda? Malvina. She always told me that Malvina was a control freak, all obsessed with order and cleanliness, and Cadmus is supposed to be a top-quality repair guy. She prods the patch of rust again, frowning as steel flakes under her foot. This thing looks like it's in good repair to you? No guarantee that those two are even. A sudden gust of wind buffets you, sending you sliding. Isabel drops to a crouch, clinging to the metal with gloved hands to keep herself from slipping. She looks up, locks her dark eyes on you. We should get moving. It's dangerous up here, and my gear is getting soaked. Finding Gobbet's friends, Cadmus and Malvina, might be a good place to start. She nods. You take the lead. I'll follow. So we have lots of things to do. Investigate the disturbance, find Gobbet, get below deck, find Cadmus, and find Malvina. This is also people's home. Devil rats, don't let them bite you. Why? I don't know. They bit me. Holy shit. Stop anytime. That's handy. Thank God. Are there any ley lines? Of course there wouldn't be. Why would there be? Okay, so because they're all melee anyway, the best thing to do would be get into a position where they can't like corner myself practically would be an ideal thing to do. Get into an area where I know they can't actually get to me with a great deal of whatever, or run like hell. Because that's the other option. Run like hell so they can't actually get to me in a big hurry. Isabel has grenades, don't worry. I just need her to get to somewhere where she can grenade these things. Like, it would almost be better to move her back over here so she can grenade them. Or here. That's probably not bad, actually. Don't want to corner myself, though, because if I do corner myself, I can't run away from them. Okay, so we're going to move me. And where can she go? She has to go over here. Okay, so we're going to move me over here. Mana charge would be ideal at this point, but let's see here. I can heal my wounds. Or we can set up... Okay, not bad. Isabel moves back over here. Isabel can't move out of there now because I effed up. Should have moved her out in the first place. Shit. Oh well. Because if I shoot a grenade, she's gonna get hit too, isn't she? Let's find out. Do I just have her escape? Not bad, okay. Okay. Yeah, I'll join you by the fire, I guess. How are we doing on hit points? 31 out of 40, 44 to 50. And I don't have these heal 20. This heals 4, but it's... I don't want to use that yet either. But I can't... This is the thing, I'm not sure I can actually use my bear totem unless I'm in combat, right? And Isabel's got... How's she doing? 44 to 50, so she's 6 down. Healing for 10. Maybe not ideal at the moment. Alright, let's talk to this person. The woman by the fire looks like she hasn't seen a bar of soap in weeks. Her companion doesn't look much better. Their faces are streaked with soot and grime that the rain seems impotent to wash away. Local inhabitant, glad to see that you made it through that in one piece. The woman smiles at you, revealing a set of crooked teeth. Please, come stand by the fire and get warm. Yeah, sure, thank you for your hospitality. Your smile widens. Of course, we don't get strangers here often, and it's far too miserable out to turn away a guest. Want to tell me what's up with all the killer rats? The devil rats, you mean. They're becoming something of a crisis for us. We don't know why they started attacking, and we can't seem to wipe them out. Truth be told, we could really use your help. Got some questions. If you're locals, we can answer them, exchanging easy glances. Sure, she tries on a smile. Ask away. What are your names? My name is Kara Lung. She jerks her thumb at the rotund man huddled by her side. That's Patrick Lowe. Patrick Lowe, he lifts his doughy face from the fire to squint at you. Hey, welcome aboard. So you two are the welcoming committee? Yes, Malvina told us... Kara cuts in. We were told to keep position up here and watch out for incoming vessels. Piracy is always a threat in these waters. I can't tell you how happy we were to see a couple of friendly faces on deck. Isabel, how do you know that we're friendly? We're heavily armed strangers and you only just met us. She chuckles. If you wanted to kill us, you'd have done it already, right? Besides, we know you aren't pirates. You haven't tried to rob us yet. When did the devil rats first start appearing? A couple of months ago, I think. The days kind of flow together out here. It's hard to say. They only started getting aggressive a couple of weeks ago, though. So how many people live here? As Patrick says, beats me. Population's been going down recently, though. I'll tell you that much. Kara. A lot of the ship is barricaded, off limits. We have no idea how many people are living in those sections now. But when I first arrived in the sinking ship, there were at least a couple hundred souls aboard. Attrition being what it is, I'd guess that there are maybe 70 of us left? Like he said, it's hard to say. Didn't seem very well equipped to fight those things, no offense. Kara, none taken. We're squatters, not soldiers. We're doing our best, but I'd be lying if I said we weren't glad to have professionals on board. Isabel, want to tell us why your raft is crawling with those things? Kara's smile fades. We don't know. At first it was just a nuisance, but lately it's getting a lot worse. Those little monsters are threatening our nest. We try to kill them, they just keep coming back. Well, that answers my questions. Good, so you're ready to help us? I'll help you with your rat problem. You need to help us first. Patrick turns to Kara. Refresh my memory, didn't we just help peel a swarm of devil rats off of them a few seconds ago? Isabel heels to face the man scowling. We didn't ask you to do that. We could have handled the rats on our own. We kind of did, in fact. We're looking for a friend. Kara sighs. Alright, describe this friend of yours to me. Isabel, she's young, about my age, orcish with a shaved scalp and dreadlocks. Have you seen her? Kara, I'm afraid not. I wish that we had, but we don't get to see many strangers here. Patrick, so how about it? Will you help us with the rat infestation or not? Yeah, we'll help. Kara breathes a sigh of relief. The rats have been a huge problem for us. Between the damage they inflict and the disease they carry, they made it impossible for us to keep up our regular maintenance duties on the raft. So this is the thing. Rats. Gobbet is with rat. There was Sui, who is a rat shaman, and I thought Malvina was also a rat shaman as well. Patrick, if you follow us, we'll lead you down below decks. With your help, we'll get the ship cleaned out again. Hang on a second, a few more questions to ask first. Go ahead and ask, make it quick, alright? It's pissing rain out and I'm freezing. When you said the rats were keeping you from your regular maintenance duties, what did they mean? Patrick, keeping a rat like the Seaworthy is a full-time job. The Devil Rat Infestation isn't helping with that. We get dozens of people below deck scrounging for materials to fix leak and shore up the weak parts of the hull. Kara, if something doesn't happen soon, we're going to have to stop working on her altogether. If that happens, it's only a matter of time before she capsizes. Oh, yeah. You said the Devil Rats carry disease. What disease is that? Vitas. It's a non-replication capable strain. If you catch it, you can't pass it on to anyone else, but it can still kill you. Why bother staying here at all? If I were you, I think I'd pick up my things and go. Patrick's doughy face goes red. This is our home, our nest. We ain't gonna leave it, no matter what Kara interjects, cutting her partner short. What he means to say is, we don't have anywhere else to go. If we were to abandon the sinking ship, we'd probably end up getting forced into the walled city. All right, I'm satisfied for now. Go ahead and lead. We'll follow. The hatch down below is just over this way. We'll show you down. Let's follow her. I will be right there. For you see, there's so many other things out here, and people, and things to pick up. For example, did you know that way over here, there's like a worn box with a grenade in it? A phosphorus grenade? Can I not give that to... Can't give it to Isabel. Alright, goes into the stash, I guess. I actually don't know. Also, that said added Knight Errant flashbang grenade. Okay, so didn't do anything there. It's fine. The shallow pool of standing water is gathered on the platform, separating it from an access hatch to the edge of the raft. Electricity arcs over the surface of the pool, and angry spiderwebs of blue-white light. Whoa, hold up. Patrick, whoa, hold up. The damned anti-boarding system's gone haywire again. He points to the crackling pool. Look, this isn't draining the way it's supposed to. Kara slams a heel on the deck, her face flushing rather than frustration. Again, we just fixed the pump. We just fixed the pump last week. Isabel. Anti-boarding system? Isabel looks up from the crackling pool, fixes her eyes on the locals. What the hell is this? Patrick, a bad idea, that's what. Blame the Shadowrunners that lived in this thing before we did. Kara, it's like an anti-theft system on a car, only a lot meaner. When it gets tripped, the channel floods and then ship's power gets shunted into the water. It can deliver a hell of a shock. Kara shakes her head at the crackling pool, scowling. Only now, it seems to trigger randomly, and the pump that we installed as a workaround has started breaking down at the drop of a hat. Why didn't you just disable the damn thing in the first place? We tried, lost 3 good engineers trying. In the end, we just decided to go with the workaround. No pool, no shocks. Well, that was the theory anyway. Patrick, well, it isn't that dangerous, all things considered. He glances you and Isabel, sizes you up. You got boots on, right? You could probably make it across without... Isabel cuts him off, serious look in her face. It's pouring out, we're both drenched, and that thing has to be putting out a lot of voltage for those arcs to be visible like that. Trying to cross that pool as is would be a bad idea. A really bad idea. Maybe we can find a way to drain the water? Yeah, that pump over there. She points to a rusted hunk of machinery at the edge of the pool. I'm guessing that's the one that isn't working? Kara, yeah, that's the one. It's supposed to keep this part of the deck clear, but it keeps breaking down. She shakes her head in disgust. Stupid, stupid thing. I swear it must have burned through 4 different fuses in the past 2 weeks. Isabel, we'll try fixing the pump first. If that doesn't work, we'll have to look around for another solution. She turns away from the dwarf, sneering. One that doesn't involve crossing on foot. Pump machinery. Before you sits a very worn and very non-functional water pump. An ancient hose snakes down from the pump into a drainage channel along the deck. I hope we get to, like, you know, hack it. Isabel, looks pretty busted. Maybe we could fix it with some of the junk that's littering the deck. Examine the pump mechanism. Upon closer inspection, you can see the pump suffers from clear signs of neglect. Years of near constant use and deferred maintenance has taken their toll on the machine and is recently broken down. Heavy scoring and burn patterns also indicate the reason why the pump isn't working. A blown fuse. Heavy scoring and burn patterns? Holy shit. Can you fix this, Isabel? She studies the broken mechanism, frowning. Afraid not. If there's a computer, I could probably do something with it, but not much of a mechanic. If I find a replacement fuse, I can slot it for you. Anything else, and you're on your own. And I am not able to do that. Now I can talk to some people. I can talk to precisely... Talk to the fire. One of the locals looks up at the sound of your approach. The others remain huddled around the low fire, their backs hunched against the pelting rain. Decrepit local. You need something, boy? If not, shove off. This fire's taken. Water pump on the other side of the deck blew a fuse. Know where I can find a new one? Maybe. Could be a new fuse anywhere up here. We tend not to throw things away like that. He shrugs. Check the piles. That's where bits and bobs usually wind up. I'd wash my hands if I were you, though. Rats have been known to hide in those piles, says a young raft dweller. Decrepit local. Old man chuckles, nods. He's right. You might get chewed on if you're not careful. Well, tell me what's happening here. Decrepit local man grunts. It's raining. Isabel, it was the one he met. Tell us about the devil rats. Young raft driller, younger local cuts in. Strange things have always been happening here, ever since the beginning. But yeah, things have been odder than usual lately, and those damned rats are a big part of that. With all the people who've been getting sick, I've considered packing up and moving away, he chuckles to himself. But I got no place else to go. I've been here for about 5 years now, and everyone I care about lives on this raft, so here I stay. We're looking for a friend of ours. Maybe you've seen her? I doubt it. We mostly keep to ourselves up here. Isabel, she'd be a new rival, an orc about my age, calls herself Gobbet. Seen her around? Young raft roller. Never heard of her. Is this a thing I can do in order, or is this going to be a branch in the conversation? I wonder. Been seen Gob. Call his bluff? Yeah, okay, why not? That actually sounds like... See, that actually sounds like a fun thing to do. Let's do that. I think you have. You said you lived here for about 5 years now, right? He shifts uncomfortably. Yeah, about that long? Isabel, then you're here during Sue's mutiny. She cocks her head. You know, the one that Gobbet helped to put down? Young raft roller, he looks helplessly at his older companion. I don't know. Oh yeah. Yeah. Etiquette? You're unfamiliar with Shadowrunners. You know we're dangerous people. You wouldn't be lying to me unless you're afraid of something. The old man steps in. Yeah, he's afraid, and with good reason. We all know what happens to people who break the rules. Isabel, I don't care about your rules. All I care about is finding my friend. If you know something, now's the time to share it. Below. She went below. Those two up there, they saw her slip past them, but they were too afraid of getting punished to raise the alarm. They tried to catch your friend on foot, but she was too quick for him. She's still down there somewhere. That's all I'm going to say. Do I shut down potential new conversation, or do I do this? I feel like if I say like hell it is, he's going to be like, I don't know anything else. I haven't been down there, but... Yeah, that's the thing, right? As Richard says, the latter sounds like a conversation ender. If I say the second one, we're not getting any more information. Maybe he has more details. Either way, the conversation ends. I mean, yeah, Dangerous Safety says he helped. Be nice. I could be nice. I don't want to be here to be nice, though, but... Yeah, you're going to give me details now. The old man pushes in front of his younger companion. He voice grows up and right. He's telling you the truth. Leave him be. He's gone bug-eyed and spittle flies as he shrieks. You let us alone! Isabel, come on, Beej. I think we learned everything from them that we're gonna. That's fair. All right, let's search trash. Fight! Nothing here. Let's drop a save. Let's search this one, so the rats can come out and fight everybody. Nothing here. Search the piles. Searching piles. Nothing here. Nothing here. Search trash. As you sift through the pile, you hear a rustling sound. Two beady eyes lock with yours. I found the fuse, though. Only one, eh? Isabel, can you make this shot? Glad to hear it. Any other ones I can fish my hand through? No? No other piles? Alright. Kara, I hope that we can get below deck soon. It's freezing out here. We just heard something interesting from some other locals on the raft. They said they saw you chasing after our friend. She swallows her eyes, dart to her companion. They're lying. We told you we haven't seen her. Sure, I don't believe you. You're going to tell us what's really going on here. We're going to have a problem. Kara looks frightened, but not of you. Her eyes keep darting towards the open hatch as if she were afraid that something might come swarming out of it. We can't. It's against the rules. We were told to take you below. Patrick yanks his weapon from his holster with a trembling hand. His cheeks are flushed. Stupid girl, you're not supposed to tell them. It'll tear us to shreds if it finds out. Wait, what will tear you to shreds? The squatter looks beyond reason, lost. He answers your question with a bullet. All right. Oh, that sucks. Maybe I don't want to push my luck then. Load game. Ah, it's already 10:30. Wow. Time to search everything, then shoot a rat, then just be like, all right, I believe you. Tip, spend your karma wisely. A jack of all trades is a master of none. And I'm a master of talking to people. You can see that I talked to some people, and we resolved everything amicably. Fight! Take the shot. Oh, the feet have folded in on this thing. That's how you do it. You can fold out. Alright. Aha. Rusted crank wheel. A heavily rusted wheel has been mounted to one of the containers here. Isabel, the floor grates here look similar to the ones near all the flooding. She examines the grates, frowning. Yeah, I think that all might be connected. Hydraulic, maybe. I can see some lines running under the lip of this container. This might be the solution to our flooding problem, assuming you can get the wheel to budge, that is. I can't. I'm a weak MF. Maybe another way. Drop a save now. So I have to do that again. Pump machinery. Let's have a conversation first. We can get below deck soon. It's freezing out here. We just heard something interesting in some locals of the raft. Let's do that. Either you're lying or there, but I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. Kara, I promise we have no intention in harming you, and besides, look at us. Even if we did want to hurt you, you'd slaughter us. She smells reassuringly. It's all right. You don't need to worry about us. All right, I trust you for now. Aha. Replace the blown fuse. Eject the pump's blown fuse. It clouds to the deck below. Deft motion, you click the intact fuse that you discovered into place, lights the pump's control panel go from red to green. The little machine rattles back to life. More rats. Oh, Jesus. Okay. So many of them had to come out. Oh, but they all clustered around me. Bad idea. Bad idea. I'm gonna go hide. Let's get Isabel Can't give her aim, can I? No. We could have her throw one of these things. Yeah, this is probably fine. All right. Shit. They are really mad at me. Thank you. Really? Can't touch anything else. Upon descending the ladder, you find yourself in the cramped confines of a shipping container. Interior walls have been erected of corrugated aluminum, and doors have been cut to allow passage from compartment to compartment. The air down here is ripe with the odor of rotting garbage. That's too bad. Kara, sorry about the state of this place. The rats have kept our work crews too busy to worry about hauling the garbage. Patrick, but now that you're here, we'll be able to set things right. Kill off those little bastards once and for all. Need to root your devil rat infestation. Any idea where they're nesting? Kara, yeah, down below. They're breeding on the level beneath our feet. There's a way down on the other side of the deck. Isabel, I don't like this beach. We don't know enough about what else is going on down there. Patrick, what else would be going on? We're trying to hold out against devil rats that are trying to eat us, and the raft's going to go into hell while we're doing it. Please just let me take you to the other side of this raft. You have to help us, you promised. She's right, we need more intel before we commit to anything. Kara, the woman grows agitated. You can see a glimmer of desperation in her eyes. What do you think you're going to find? There isn't anything. It's just us and the rats. Do I drop names or do I not drop names? Don't drop names. Kara, her expression in crowds. Alright, fine. You got the big guns. We aren't going to argue with you. But it's important we get to the lower decks quickly. Things are getting worse here by the hour. Isabel fixes her dark eyes on the squatter. We'll move out when we're good and ready. You're lucky that we even agreed to help. Kara, she backpedals. Of course, only when you're ready. Take your time. Look around. You're our guests here, after all. Patrick says, we'll be at the other end of the deck. When you want to go down, just come look for us. Got it. Thanks. Alright. Now we'll pull a save. We'll pull a save in a second, maybe. That scene is done. Now I can save. Alright. Our objectives are now investigate the disturbance, obviously. Find Gobbet, yes. Reach the bottom deck. We have to find Cadmus and Malvina as well. And now that we know that they're being... Well, inspect. Notice the recent weather issues. Only 3 people are allowed on the top deck at a time report violations of this policy. Interesting. There's a door here. I opened it. I walked inside. There's a local. I talked to him. Or her. Here we go. A middle-aged woman with a slouching posture stands with her back to a reinforced door. With languid motion, she turns her head to stare at you. New folks, I'll be damned. She shifts positions with a grunt. The hell are you doing in here? Looking for a friend of ours. Maybe you've seen her. Shakes her head. Nope, I ain't seen you, Fred. Sorry. Isabel, you don't even know who one of our friends looks like yet. How can you say you're sure you haven't seen her? No one's come down here today but you, not a soul. Didn't see anyone yesterday either, and I can't remember much past then. She smiles, revealing a crumbling set of nicotine-stained teeth. Bad memory. Can't do a thing about it. Who are you? Name's Lisa. Call me Lise, though. Everybody else in the raft does. What's behind that door there? She runs her tongue over her teeth. Storage closet. Nothing worthwhile in there. Don't even know why they had me standing watch over the thing. But those are the rules, right? You can't question the rules. Charisma, yes. There's nothing worthwhile in there and couldn't hurt to let us have a look around inside, could it? She grounds thinking, I guess that it couldn't. I mean, you can't steal nothing, can you? So how about it? Will you open the door for us? She reaches back and pulls the lever. You hear the metallic scrape of the door and latching itself. Here you go. Knock yourself out. Is this going to be a thing? I feel like this is going to be a thing. Well, if it's going to be a thing, I should just drop another save. Why not? Oh, there's a lot of people. Hi. Let's have a chatter. Local inhabitant. The woman sitting guard duty nods in acknowledgement. Strangers, you picked a bad time to come visit. You're visiting. We're looking for a friend. Then you're out of luck. I haven't seen anyone from outside of quarantine in weeks. Oh. You want to talk to someone? Talk to the dwarf. I'm busy. She hefts her weapon, her eyes glued to the door. I need to keep my eyes open for more of those little bastards. We can't let any more of them sneak in here, not after what happened to Simon. Isabel, best of luck. You inspect. The door is heavily reinforced and barricaded. Take a bulldozer to get it open. Talk to the dwarf. Talk to the sick dwarf. Yo, you looking sick, bro. A stocky dwarf leans up against the wall of the container room. His skin is sallow and it hangs off his bulky frame like a half-deflated balloon. You saw plenty of sick people back in the Barrens. Addicts, BTL heads, people whose immune systems have been ravaged by disease. This guy looks worse. Hello, stranger. Don't see many new faces on the raft these days, he sighs. But you're here, so you want something. Now, what would that be? Isabel pushes forward. We're friends of Gobbet. Seen her around? He chuckles. Friend, if you're looking for Gobbet, you're about 3 years too late. Your friend ain't here. You stumbled into the worst kind of place to be lost. What's your name, friend? Me? I'm nobody important. Coughs into his sleeve. He coughs into his sleeve. The sound is alarmingly wet. Just a man waiting to die. You haven't seen Gobbet lately, have you? No, I haven't seen the girl in years. I'd love to, mind you. She was a good friend way back when. What's wrong with this place? Aside from the uninvited guests, you mean? He struggles to stifle another cough. We've got a rat problem. Isabel, we've noticed. Sick dwarf, don't let what happened to me happen to you too. You want my advice, you get out of here and you do it before you get bit. I've been bit a lot so far. He gestures at the sweat-damp heaps of cloth that line the walls around him. If you don't, you might just wind up in your deathbed here, right by my side. Well, then we'll leave you in peace. Yeah, you do that. If you happen to find Gobbet, bring her by. I haven't seen her in a long time. It'd do me good to talk to her again before I die of this damn disease. Inspect. Some tags. They seem relatively fresh. They haven't been here that long. Here's a door. Ship inhabitant. The man standing before you looks cleaner than most of the other squatters on the sinking ship. There are no streaks of grease on his cheeks. His clothes look freshly laundered. He leers at you as you approach. Ship inhabitant. Well, what have we here? Strangers in our humble raft exploring her leaking bowels. The man grins, revealing the cavernous gap in his teeth. He hefts a snifter brimming with cognac and salute. Welcome to the sinking ship, strangers. Now tell me what you want. Well, who are you? You may address me as Mercurio. He bows slightly, the cognac sloshing his glass. At your service. We're looking for a friend of ours, an orc, 19 years old, goes by the name of Gobbet. Oh, and she ran away from you, did she? He grins. Ran all the way here, to our little palace on the water. Isabel, have you seen her or haven't you? Mercurio, insistent little thing, aren't you? He puts his lips to the crystal of his snifter and slurps a mouthful of liquor. He's very... I just want to do him like, no, I haven't seen your runaway friend, but if I do run into her, I'll tell her that you're looking. What do you do on the raft? A bit of this, a bit of that. I'm an artist, or rather I used to be, an artist and a socialite and a man about town. He spreads his hands. By town, I mean raft, of course. Now I mostly find myself shut away here on the sinking ship's upper deck. I've been festering away here for months, desperately clinging to the finer things in life. He sniffs. Quite the tale of woe, really. That's it, you just loiter around and socialize? A fine and noble profession. He takes another sip, swilling the brandy in his mouth. But you're a street-level operative, no? Blue-collar work. I wouldn't expect you to understand. Oh, just fucking try me, my dude. I have every... I have every etiquette. Now, if that will be quite all, he glances at the door, we'll leave you to your business. I could have socialited with him. Anything over here? Nope. Alright. Here is something. Scratches look like they're made by claws, but if they're much bigger than anything a devil rat could make. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, this is probably the remains of the previous things that happened. Let's drop another save, because I don't want to have to go through all my dialogues again. Another squatter, this one more beaten up than most. Bloody bandages wrap his knuckles, and one of his orbital sockets has been crushed, deforming the silhouette of his face. I don't want a picture of this. He peers at you with a mixture of suspicion and hostility. Don't recognize you? That means you're new here. His voice comes out in a hoarse croak. You picked a bad place to go sightseeing, outsider. You okay, man? You don't look so good. No, I'm not okay. I'm all beaten up and I'm going blind in one eye. Now tell me what you want so I can be on my way. He spits out the words out like venom. What's your name? My name? Ivan. Ivan Fu. That all? Can I go? Looking for a friend of ours, female orc, about 19 years old, calls herself Gobbet. Haven't seen her. Sorry. Well, then tell me about this sinking ship. I want to hear what you're taking, what's happening here. It's going to shit. Rats everywhere, people dying, smells like a garbage scow, he grunts. That satisfy your curiosity, outsider? Can you tell me any more? It's important. Look, it ain't the damn welcoming committee. I'm just a bloody old man who wants to get back to his squat. If you want to know more about the boat, ask someone else. I don't know. BBB. Sorry, dude. Here's a door. I opened it. There's a terminal. Ship inhabitant. A slender human woman in shabby overalls looks up from her work with a frown. You can't help but notice these scars on her neck. Ship inhabitant. Do I know you? What are you doing on this raft? I'm here to help you. Could you answer a few questions for me? She frowns. All right, but make it quick. I've got work to do. What's your name? She eyes you warily. I'm nobody important, just a worker trying to keep this thing afloat. Let's leave it at that, if you please. We had close encounters with the devil rats? Yeah, don't go downstairs and you absolutely have to. The lower decks are absolutely crawling with the things. I'll leave you to your work. And thanks, and be careful out there. Look, I've already told you I got work to do. Alright. Terminal? Water drips down from a leak in the ceiling to spatter against the case of this ancient terminal. It's a miracle the thing's still functional. A blinking green cursor awaits your input. Access the terminal. Oh. 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 Freeware mail client. Jungsun Anson. Read the first message. Chung Sung, our ensign to Beasley, Malvina. We need to talk about these new regulations that you keep handing down. Look, I used to be a merchant marine. I get it. I know how important procedure is in a boat, and I know the mindset that you're working against. But some of these new regs are bordering on draconian, and they're getting in our way of our maintenance crews downstairs. Order's a good thing. Micromanaging isn't. So let's talk about it, okay? ACS. Second message. Damned rats. Chung Sung ensign to Huang Cadmus. We've got a hell of an infestation going on at lower levels. We need to start doing something about it. Can I count on you and your boys to help me with this? I know that Em would frown on what I'm proposing, but she isn't doing anything to help. We have to take matters into our own hands before they get ugly. Quarantine. To Cadmus. This is exactly what I was afraid of, see? Those bloody rats have eaten us out of house and home, and now their food supply's gone. They decide to turn on us. It's pretty clear that Em can't or won't use her magic to fix this, so it's on us to deal with the fallout. The upstairs maintenance crew set aside a couple of containers as a quarantine area sick room. It's in order that we're going to start seeing people getting sick, we need a place to shelve them. If we don't do this, we're going to have a panic on our hands. Vitus deaths aren't pretty. And then meeting. Yaz, this is the Yasmin Huang. Yaz, oh, Yaz is Cadmus's brother. Tell your brother that I got his note and I'll be there. I don't know what all this is about, but I have to guess. If I have a guess, and if I'm right, well, I'm in. Things have to change around here for all of our sakes. Interesting. Log out of the terminal and step away. So another mutiny? Holy shit. This squatter's in need of immediate medical attention. Her torso is a gory mess and an ever-expanding pool at her feet tells you she's well on her way to bleeding out. Shipping Habnan, she peers at you through sunken eyes, set into an alarming gray face. Please help me. Repair her wound. I can do that. Calm yourself, I can heal you. The strange energies of your magic wash over her, erasing the hole in her abdomen. Gradually her eyes focus and the color returns to her face. Shakily, she extends a hand in greeting. I don't know who you are, strangers, but you just saved my life. If I can ever return the favor, you let me know. What's your name, friend? Maria Lamb. My friends call me Sparrow. It's good to meet you, Sparrow, Isabel says. Sparrow, she chuckles. Better luck for me that I met you. If I hadn't, I think I would have bled out by now. How'd you get shot? It's part of that last mutiny attempt. Made it through that all right, but I guess I also made some enemies. I don't know who shot me, but it's a fair bet someone on this boat is holding a grudge. Looking for a friend of ours, a female orc, about 19 years old. Have you seen her? She shakes her head. Afraid not. Haven't been able to focus on much since I took that bullet to the gut. Been fading in and out. If your friend is here, I hope she managed to avoid the welcoming committee. Isabel, the 2 locals we met topside, you mean? An elf and a dwarf? She nods. I don't trust them. You shouldn't either. Don't know where their loyalties lie. We'll keep it in mind. Thanks for letting us know. She shrugs. Like I said, I owe you my life. Giving you a friendly warning is the least I can do. We'll let you get on with your day. Sparrow. All right, but if you need anything else, you know where to find me. Mop up that blood, sailor. Okay. We did a good thing. When you do a good thing, you save the game. Didn't get any karma for that good thing, though. That's okay. Ah, local up ahead beckons you forward. It's just the way through this door here. As you approach, something catches your eye. A vent in the wall behind the locals. Movement. Something living must be hidden inside. Behind you, more devil rats. Panic-stricken, they begin to turn their weapons raised. There's a flurry of motion. Something large explodes out of the vent. Gobbet lands in the crouch. Your weapon raised. Don't go in there. It's a trap. Whoa, that was real fast. What do we want to do to these people? Can I just zot right away? Isabel has no cover. Take cover. Boom. The bloodied local tosses her gun aside and raises a pair of trembling hands. Her eyes have gone wide with terror. I'm sorry, we didn't want to do it. We didn't have a choice. The words come spilling out in a frantic babble. It ordered us to. What it? What are you talking about? Explain yourself. I don't know what it is. It talks with Elvina's voice, but it isn't her. Helpless tears stream down her cheeks, clinging to her skin like beads of dew on a leaf. If you want to live, you have to do what it says. So wait, did I just kill a dude when it wasn't, like... Alright, I'm gonna let you live. Don't make me regret it. Sure. Squatter collapses against the wall, sobbing uncontrollably. Gobbet dusts herself off and paces towards you. Hey, Iz. Hey, Beach. I don't remember inviting you on this run, but I guess I'm glad you could make it. Why wouldn't you say something? She jerks her head towards the squatter's room body. You're welcome, by the way. Want to tell me what the hell's going on here, Gobbet? We just shot some locals, but don't worry, they were bad people. I want to kill them first, and you totally ruined that. Alright, I'll take your word for it. What were you saying about a trap? Yeah, that's where they were leading you. I didn't want to see that happen, so I came riding to your rescue. She puts her hands on her hips and widens her stance. Your perfect example of the classic superhero pose. You are, again, welcome. Isabel, muttering under her breath, steps forward. Gobbet, tell us what kind of trap you're talking about. Count where you end up dead. Look, I don't know exactly what they were planning to do, but I've seen them lead people through those doors before. She gestures to the heavy double doors at the end of the hall. The people who I watched go in there never came back out again, not a one. They just scream and scream, and when the doors opened up again, they'd be gone. So you don't actually know what's in there then. No, but judging by all the screaming, I'm gonna make an educated guess that's probably something bad. There's a long, awkward pause. Finally, Isabel steps forward. So now that we're all together, do you want to tell us why you came back here all yourself? We'd have gone with you, Gobbet. All you had to do is tell us. She raises her hands. Gobbet raises her hands. Yeah, I know, but I figured this one was on me, and I didn't want to wait another minute. Besides, I had a plan. Yeah, what kind of plan was that? Pretty simple one. All I wanted to do was get the lay of the land, sneak around a little, maybe find my old friends, get some answers. I didn't come here to get into a firefight, and it's easier to be quiet solo than it would be dragging you two around. No offense. Isabel, so you scoped the place out. Fine, mission accomplished. Do you know what you're doing now? Gobbet, yeah, this place is fucked. I'm gonna sink it. Wait a second, what? Sinking ship is doomed, Beej. I could feel that the second I set foot on board. She checks herself earlier than that evening. On some level, I think that I could feel it back home. That's why I couldn't stop thinking about this place. Whatever's happening here, it's wrong. This whole place feels off to me somehow, maybe even toxic. I came back to find my friends, Cadmus and Malvina, to check on them. Instead, I found a swarm of man-eating rats, a death trap, and a bunch of squatters who seem intent on killing me. My turn becomes brisk. So, I'm gonna kill them right back. And I'm gonna use the scuttling charges that are still embedded in the hull to do that. I've already handled the ones on this level, but I haven't gone down below yet. We need to activate the charges below the waterline if we're gonna bring this sucker down. Isabel, and so that's where you're headed next? Downward? Not quite. On account of the trap. I don't know how to get past it yet, she frowns. Minor setback, right? So my next step was to figure that out. Haven't found Cadmus and Melvina yet. They could still be alive somewhere, maybe on this level. Yeah, maybe. I hope so, because of all the people on this raft, Cad is the one I'd most trust to get us past whatever in that room. He was always more of a mechanic than he was a shaman. We have to figure out how to get past the trap, I get that, but let's keep our eyes open while we're doing that. There could be more going on here than you realize. Gobbit, I seriously doubt it. Remember what I told you about second-guessing? Isabel, he isn't second-guessing anything. We haven't seen enough to make a decision yet. You may have, but we haven't. Gobbit lets out an exasperated sigh. Alright, Iz. You want to look around? We'll do that. But afterwards, we're arming the rest of those charges. Let's move. Gobbit joins the team. Maintenance notice. All lower decks are off limits until further notice. Maintenance. Okay. Did I go everywhere? I feel like I did. I feel like I went into everywhere I could go into. Because there was nothing else over here, right? I mean, I guess I did say I'd bring Gobbit by to talk with this dude. Doris' milky eyes track user's approach. A wave of recognition watches over his face, but his movements remain lethargic. Eventually, he manages to slur out a few words. Gobbit, back after all this time. Yeah, I'm sorry it's taking so long. Gobbit stares at the dwarf, wide-eyed. It's good to see you, Cad. Gobbit's told me about you. How are you feeling? Cadmus, perfect. Thanks for asking. He struggles to contain a burst of coughing. I mean, I'm dying, and my home has gone to shit, and we're probably going to sink into the bay, but otherwise I'm great. With a visible effort, he shifts his focus to Gobbit. Welcome home, girl. Been a long time. Gobbit swallows. Cadmus, save it. I'm not mad. He squeezes his eyes shut. I'm mostly just happy to hear your voice again. It's good to have a friend. Are you sick, Cadmus? He grins. Between the sunken eyes and hollow cheeks, the end result is ghastly. Ill? I would say so. Deathly ill. Vitus is a real bitch. Even a neutered strain like this one can really knock you on your ass. Gobbit, you'll be okay, Cad. You're a dwarf and a shaman. That's 2 big points in your favor. You're going to walk this off. You'll see. Cadmus, spare me the pep talk. I'm too tired to walk. He coughs into his sleeve. Gobbit, Cadmus, save it. I know what my chances look like, and they ain't good. I've seen a lot of our friends loaded into these cots, Gobbit. They all went out in garbage bags. Anyway, he wrestles his mouth into a friendly smile. Let's talk about something else, huh? All this doom and gloom is getting to me. All right, tell me what's happening here. Bad things. A lot of good people died. Something's gone rotten on this raft, Gobbit. You know what I mean. Toxic. Yeah, I can feel it too. Gobbit, yeah, I can feel it too. I can feel it all the way back home. Your throat moves, but it takes a moment for her voice to catch up. Cadmus, where are our friends? What happened to Yasmin and Anson and Melvina? Anson's dead. He never even made it into the sick room. Just disappeared. But I know where he went. He stabs a finger downward at the floor. Yasmin's still with us. Small favors, right? But the fight has gone out of her. She's content to do what she's told and tremble. Melvina ain't Melvina anymore. What is she? I don't know what it is. It's definitely toxic, but as for what it is, his voice trails off. Cadmus stares up at Gobbit helplessly. Gobbit, Melvina went off the rails because of that damn bobblehead I gave her. That's what happened, isn't it? Cadmus, it ain't her, Gobbit. It's something else. He struggles to contain another cough. Eventually it passes. Yeah, that shiny red egg that you and Sui lifted is the cause of it, I think. The ugliness was already inside of her, but that thing brought it out. Gobbit squeezes her eyes shut, balls her hand into fists. Shit. It isn't your fault, Gobbit. You had to give her that thing to stop the mutiny. I know, Beej. I did what I had to do. No regrets. I'm pretty fucking angry about what happened afterwards. Cadmus, you and me both, kid. I'm as angry as I've ever been and twice as frightened. His chest heaves as a deep bronchial cough racks his body. With a grimace of distaste, he spits out a wad of bloody phlegm. You haven't seen what happened to Melvina, what she's become. Gobbit, you need rest. We should put this on hold, and he raises a hand, cutting her short. Got no time to rest, and you need to hear this, what we're up against. You ever hear of a rat king? Oh, Christ. An old folklore thing, bunch of rats all fused together. We're gonna play this out. Their tails all wrapped and twisted into a great big knot. That's what Mal has become. I don't know how many different spirits she's tied her essence to, but the last time I opened my third eye to her, I couldn't see where they'd ended and she began. Gobbit, what does that even mean? I never heard of Cadmus. It means that she ain't human anymore, girl. Her aura is bound to other things, alien things, all tangled and twisted and grown together. They're all one being now, a rat king. It talks like Melvina, but it ain't her anymore. This rat king is still human, physically speaking? Don't know. I've heard a rumor that Melvina's meat body is changing too. I haven't seen it myself. Don't know if I want to. Another long, wet cough interrupts his speech. He wipes his mouth with the back of his hand. Alright, talisman the Rat King is holding. Shiny object. Do you know how it works? Nah, try sensing it once. The only thing I took away from through the experience was a migraine. Felt like there were railroad spikes buried in behind my eyes for days. All I can tell you for certain is that it still works. As long as the Rat King's connected to that thing, you can't hurt it. Any holes you put in its body will close up on their own. So what are you expected to do against that? If the bauble makes the thing unkillable, then you'll need to find a way to get the bauble away from it. Gobbet managed to do that during Sui's rebellion. I bet she could do it again. Try to fight this Rat King? Cadmus, yeah, I'd had enough. A lot of us had, so we took a page from old Sui's book. He offers you a sickly grin. We mutinied. He gestures at the writhing bodies on the cots of the sick room. This is what's left on our side. Been locked in here for 5 days now, waiting for Vitus to finish the job. The rest of us got fed to the rats. Explains all the scarring and blood I saw around. Yeah, we didn't make it far. Bloodied a few noses, burned a few bones, but that won't matter much in the end. Truth is, we weren't prepared for how many of those bastard rats Melvina had bred, and we weren't expecting our shipmates to fight on her behalf. God, but why would the others stop you from taking the ship back? That doesn't even make sense. Cadmus, what do you think, girl? Fear. Fear of death. Fear of being gnawed apart by 100 vermin. Fear of that thing. People are here on Brainwash, they're just afraid. Scared shitless is a better way of putting it, and I can't blame them. If anything, we're the crazy ones who are trying to fight that thing. The Rat King soldiers only serve because they're afraid that maybe we can turn them away from it. Could do. They might rally around someone they know, maybe someone who lived with and fought him for him years ago. You guys, Gobbet. That was a subtle hint, girl. Gobbet, I got a better idea. We're gonna get you and your people onto lifeboats, and we're sending this raft to the bottom of the bay, and the Rat King is gonna go with it. Cadmus, you can't mean that. This is our home. We got nowhere else to go, Gobbet. I'm not gonna let that thing force us to put this raft to the torch. Gobbet, you already tried it your way. Look what happened. Isabel steps in. Maybe it's good that you leave this place. I lived in a place like this before. I'd see what we can do to people. Gobbet, she grew up in the walled city, Cadmus, then she knows what we got to look forward to if you sink this raft, because we sure as hell can't afford to live anywhere else. He cranes his neck to look up at Gobbet, pleading. Desperation burns in his eyes. Gobbet, listen, it isn't too late for the sinking ship. We can still turn this thing around. My mutiny failed because the Rat King knew things that we didn't. Yours can succeed if you'll try. Gobbet shakes her head obstinately. My gut says that we should sink the raft. It said that from the moment I arrived here. That's what Rat wants me to do, so that's what I'm gonna do. That's what Rat wants me to do, so that's what I'm gonna do. Woof. Either way, we got some work ahead of us. I think we're in for, obviously we're in for fights either way we do this. Like, Gobbet wanted to sink the ship. She was by herself. It was like, that's just it. It's the only way you contain this thing is you just sink it. Maybe you can't fight an Eldritch-style being. I already popped a save, so we're going to try to retake the sinking ship. Your eyes narrow. Have you forgotten the first lesson I taught you, Beej? Always go with your gut. My gut says, Isabel, spare us a lecture, Gobbet. Cadmus is right. You're going off half-cocked again. Truth is, we can save this rat if you want to. If you don't, tell us and we'll sink it. Look, Gobbet, things have changed as you decide to sink this raft. You can see that, right? Gobbet sets her jaw, draws a deep breath, and slowly releases it. All right, Cad, if you're sure you can keep up your end, I'll be willing to help you with your mutiny. But if your people fuck it up, I'm sinking this thing. Got it? Cadmus, yeah. And thanks. With your help, we can do this. Gobbet, that remains to be seen. Cadmus waves her off. Go on, get moving, and convince as many people as you can to help us when the time comes. Whoever you don't bring around to our side is going to fight against us, and be thorough about it. When you're ready to make our move, trigger the shipboard alarm system. 2 blasts, then we'll start kicking indoors. Gobbet, all right, Cad, 2 blasts starts the mutiny, but if we sound the alarm once and leave it, you get your people the hell off this raft. Got it? 1 blast means you're sinking the raft. I like the optional things. You don't get to do them all. You do that, and I'm kicking your bony ass from here to Macau. But yeah, I hear you. Long, wet cough racks his body. You got all that, stranger? You know what you're supposed to do? We convince people to join you, then trigger the alarm. 1 blast means you're sinking the raft. 2 means the mutiny's on. Got it. Good, thanks. Gobbet, thank you. Does me good to know that you're with us on this. Time to not talk to anybody until we drop a new save. it's 11 o'clock. I mean, now would be as good a time as any, but... 4 more hours for you. Hosk, you're a bad influence. Okay. Let's roll on. Glad to have you on our side, stranger. When the time for the mutiny comes, you can count me in. Okay, great. I already talked to a lot of people, so we're going to continue to talk to people. Talk to Lise. You're back. Why? Rat King has ruled here long enough. We're taking it down. We could use your help. You'll get yourself killed even talking like that. You'll get me killed with you. Get the hell out of here right now. We'll take part in another damn mutiny. How does it help you for the Rat King to stay in control? Oh, shit. She screeches bulrushes you and warns you not to talk. Let's not use grenades here. Okay. Now what do we look at? It did say that everybody who was 31 out of 40, 44 to 50, 50 out of 50. It did say that everyone who wasn't going to join us... Yeah, at least this way I can kill them one at a time. That sucks. But at least I can do that. Ivan Fu. The Rat King's people do that to you? No, I got caught in the crossfire. Mutineers did this to me. Thought I was with the Rat King. All I want to do is get home. Instead, my right eye only sees double now. Can hardly use my hands. Calmness' voice belies the naked spite on his face. Thanks for asking. I know you're hurting, but there's other ways to help than fighting. I can fight, don't you worry about that. Glances down at his bandaged hands. Might be best if I wait a week or two, but even in the state I'm in, I can hold my own. Used to be damn good with a blade. Paid a pretty penny to have one custom forged for me, too. That blade was a lovely thing, useful in and out of a fight. I always liked that. I liked that. It wasn't just a weapon, it was a tool as well. What happened to that blade of yours? Taken? Lost? I don't know. He pulls the battle-song knife from his back pocket, extends his arm, offering to you. How about you, stranger? You handy with a blade? Damn, any idea where it went? No one even did. You think I'd tell a stranger where to find it? That blade was my most prized possession. If anyone's going to find it, it's going to be me. We're taking this raft back from the Rat King. We need all the help we can get. Can we count on you? You're all fools. Last 2 minutes failed. Last 2 mutinies failed, and yours will too. Even if you did have a chance, it was Cadmus and his boys that did this to me. You think I'm going to cozy up with them? God, but I'm sorry that they hurt you, but like you said, you got caught in a crossfire. People get hurt in those situations. It happens. Cadmus would never intentionally harm you. The Rat King, on the other hand, said no, I'm not putting my neck out for anybody. I'm going to ride this thing out, and that's all there is to it. If you help us, I can make it worth your while. Have connections back in Kowloon? Maybe? You're hard of hearing? I said no, and that's fine. I'm not laying my life on the line for you or for Cadmus or for anyone else. Etiquette Shadowrunner. Wake up. You're living in a war zone. Not choosing a side won't keep you safe. It'll get you killed. Stares at you with a good eye. You're right. I know that. I know better than most. Can't just pick him and leave. Nobody can. The Rat King won't let us. God, but then we'll have to kill the fucking thing, won't we? Ivan stares at her with his good eye. It's subtle, but something in his expression changes. Grows hard. You a killer girl? God, I do it for a living. We all do. Then maybe you got a chance. He grits his teeth, gingerly touches the ruin of his collapsed eye socket. To hell with it, I'm in. When you make your move, I'll do what I can to help. You've made the right decision. Go to Cadmus and wait for our signal. I will. That one's easier than I thought. This might not be. Okay, drop another save, since I got through that safely. Ship inhabitant. Gobbet, you're back! Hello, Yasmin. It's good to see you again. Yeah, you too. Where the hell have you been all these years? On a different boat, funnily enough. Yasmin, a little out of the loop on what's happening here. Could you do me a solid and fill us in? Yeah, we're not supposed to talk about it, but I'll tell you what I know. Tell me what's been happening here. Yasmin looks uneasy. Well, we're all struggling to deal with the devil rat infestation. You probably know about them. With all the rats around, there aren't many volunteers for the maintenance crews anymore. It gets lonely out here. He abruptly stops talking, her cheeks flush red. That's it. That's all I have to say. Gobbet, Yaz. Gobbet. Yaz, you're talking to me here, so tell me what's going on. I can help you if you don't know what's happening. Yasmin's eyes dart up and down the hall, scanning for anyone who might be coming. Her hands begin to shake. After a moment, she leans toward Gobbet and lowers her voice to a whisper. Yeah, all right. She swallows. This raft is cursed. Gobbet, by the Rat King, you mean? Your brother told us all about it. Her voice comes out in a terrified whisper. Yes, it has spies everywhere. Rats. It's little monsters and the kind on two legs. And if you don't do what it says, things happen to you. And it talks over the intercom using Elvina's voice, but it isn't her. Yeah, raft's haunted. Cock's gun. Gobbet, I know, Yaz. One way or another, I'm gonna kill it. The whisper changes, becomes fierce. Yasmin's eyes burn with intensity. Good. She claps a hand over her mouth, her eyes wide. Her entire body is shaking. Gobbet, thanks, Yaz, that helps. Believe it or not, it helps. She nods immediately, still struggling to calm herself. Taking the ship back, Yasmin, I need your help. Her eyes go wide. Another mutiny? No, not me. Go to someone else. I saw what happened last time. Gobbet, last time you didn't have me here. We're gonna kill the monster, stole Malvina's voice. Yaz, you got my word on that. She stares at Gobbet long and hard. Finally, she acquiesces with a nod. All right, Gobbet, I'm in. I'm terrified, but I'm in. Her voice breaks, but she continues on. I'm no fighter, you know that. I keep the ship afloat, and that's about it, but I'll do what I can to help. Gobbet, you'll be okay, Yasmin. I promise. Circle up with your brother. I'm sending everyone we can convince to help to meet up with him in the sick room. He'll tell you what to do from there. So that's a good sign. God, I feel like after this person got shot, you know, Sparrow might be kind of like, I'm not willing to have more fighting. Thanks for your help. I'd have bled out if you hadn't come along. We're taking another run at the Rat King, and we're going to kill it this time. We could use your help. I want to help, I do, but I can't do much without supplies. She licks her lips considering. I'll make you a deal. If you hook me up with some medical supplies, I'll join your mutiny. Medkit? Regen salve? How many medkits do I have? He said, opening his pack. Did I bring a lot? Yeah, it's good old Gobbet. I have 2 medkits and a regen salve, and I always wanted to try the regen salve for myself, so I'll give her a medkit. She gratefully accepts the supplies you offer her. A deal's a deal, and I have a debt to repay. When you make your move on the Rat King, I'll be there to help. Good. Head to the quarantine area and meet up with Cadmus. He'll let you know what to do. I have a few things to take care of first, but I will. You got my word on that. All right. I have organized a mutiny. I have found Cadmus. I did not mark it. I haven't even gone to the bottom deck yet, but I guess it's something maybe I don't. I mean, that's a primary mission, but I guess that's coming up. All right, let's make that save. Yeah, I don't know if we can find that the knife. We didn't talk to Mercurio yet. You're back! He smells down at Isabel, saluting with the glass. Tell me why! Taking the sinking ship back from the Rat King, will you help us? He shakes his head sadly. No, I'm afraid not. I'm a lover, not a fighter. I can see you're a man who enjoys the finer things in life. You'll never have them as long as the Rat King's in control. He pauses, considering. You raise a valid point. Things have been going to hell recently. It's getting to the point where it's almost impossible to get my hands on a decent bottle of brandy. Even the Chilean stuff is hard to find. So are you going to, Isabel, so are you going to fight for us or not? Mercurio takes another sip of cognac and sighs. A bead of amber fluid hangs precariously on his lip. Yes, my dear, I think that I will. After all, what is the purpose in life without luxury? When you make your move, I will do what I can to assist you. I have organized a hell of a mutiny. Well, let's save that as well. I want to think that Sparrow shows up and is just rocking like this massive Gatling gun. What about you? No, not getting me in trouble? Or say maybe join my team this time or whatever? Alright. What if by land... It's 2 blasts if we're gonna start this whole deal, right? And I can't leave. Yeah, we won't find that blade. I bet you maybe that better chance that dude might find his own blade, but... Yeah. That's a gang tag, isn't it? Some tags, relatively fresh, haven't been here long. Drop to save already. Open the door. Can't go topside. We have talked, I believe, to everybody at this point. I even talked to the guard in the sick room. Like, immediately the guard was like, yeah, I'm on your side. I was like, I didn't even say anything. Holy shit. I don't need to talk to Cadmus again, right? I don't think so. The air is thicker in here, acrid. The stench clings to your tongue and sticks in the back of your throat. It smells like damp cardboard and stale urine. Gobbet surveys the room warily, her nose prickling in disgust. Well, that's foul. Don't go any further into the room yet, either of you. We don't know how to disarm the trap yet. Hang on, I just want to take a look. Flooring here is a patchwork of metal scrap that creaks beneath your feet. With each step you can feel the flex struggling to accommodate your weight. Back away. Yeah. Glad to have you inside. Time for the mutiny. You can count me in. I believe that's everybody. You back? Need something? When did all this start? It must have been sometime after Gobbet left. Nah, not long, maybe a week or so. I couldn't see it at the time, but it was happening. I could stake my life on it. Gobbet, I don't get this. Everything was fine when I left the raft. I mean, the vibe here had changed, but Melvina was still Melvina. If anything, she was even stronger than the woman I'd known. Cadmus, yeah, she got strong, all right. Strong and mean. It started small. A couple of months after Tsu's mutiny, Melvina started proposing new rules. She said that she was cracking down on infractions, giving order to keep us safe. But over time, those rules started piling up, and gradually the punishments started getting worse. She became paranoid. Gives you a shallow nod. Yeah, that's right. That's what I mean. That's what I mean when I say that she had it in her all along. He pauses, checks himself. She. I don't think that Melvina can even be described as a she anymore. It is really a they. Our friend is dead or changed so much that she might as well be. And the things that are wearing her skin don't belong in this world. There's a trap room at the end of the hall. Know anything about that? Yeah, me and my crew built the thing. Gobbet, let me guess. Melvina's orders? He nods. First thing she asked us to do after Tsui's little rebellion. We started working the thing the week after you left. Yasmin was in charge of the project. Isabel, can you tell us how to get past it? Cadmus, no. Cuffs were wetly in the sleeve. No, but Yas can. She should be somewhere on this level. Go find her and tell her I sent you. Gobbet, we will. Thanks, Cad. Cadmus, he'd have specks of blood from his lip. Don't mention it. We should go hang in there, man. He grunts. I ain't going nowhere. Be safe. That's how we figure out how to get past the trap. Let's keep dropping saves every couple seconds. Gobbet, you're back! Cadmus said you were in charge of the building the trap at the end of the hall. Yeah, it was me. I didn't want to build the thing, but I did tell Melvina to keep us safe. I've regretted it ever since. God, but we could really use your help, Yas. We need to get below decks. We need to do it in one piece. Can you help us to get past the trap you've built? I think so. It's been a long time, but I think I remember what wires you need to snip to disarm the thing. She fumbles a nearby table, grabs a napkin, then she uses a grease pencil from her breast pocket and begins to draw. There's a hidden access panel on the floor. You'd never find it if you didn't know where to look. You snip these wires here and this one here. Bypass this circuit. Scribbles on the napkin with a steady hand, and then flip this lever. Do that and you're done. Trapdoor won't trigger and you won't get dumped into the killing pit. Gobbet. Killing pit? Yasmin passes the napkin to Gobbet. It's pretty much what you'd expect. Gobbet snatches the napkin from Yasmin's hand. Thank you, Yas. Thanks, Yas. You don't know how badly we needed this. Yasmin, I can guess. Cadmus sent you to me after all. She smiles weakly. Best of luck. I'll leave you to your work. Yeah, thanks. Be careful out there. Rad. Okay. Trap mechanism. Following the grease pencil diagram, you locate a hunk of metal flooring with a slightly raised edge. Hooking your fingers under it, you'll be lifted to reveal a hidden access panel. Dun 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 dun. Isabel, that's a good sign. Follow Yasmin's instructions to disarm the trap. Instructions are surprisingly easy to follow. 3 snips with your pocket knife, and a rewired connection later, and the floor-spanning trapdoor has been disarmed. Floor-spanning trapdoor, wow. Gobbet, well, that was easy. She beams at you. Go on, Beej. You take the lead. You've earned it. Gee, thanks. Drop another save. It'd be great if I started walking just as that sound effect happened. Aha. Transition. How to get below decks. Oh, I get it now. They're like, yeah, just go through that room to get below decks, and then you go do that, and then you fall into the killing pit, which is technically over here. Stepping into this room is like wading into the killing floor of a slaughterhouse. There isn't an inch of ground that isn't caked with spilled blood. The stench that floods into your nostrils is as overpowering as it is vile. It is the stench of rotten beef and stale vomit, of warm blood poured into a chemical toilet and left out in the sun to cook. The buzzing of flies in your ears helps bring you back to your senses. Blinking against the light, you see stacks of moldering trash piled nearly to the ceiling. The piles of dead bodies are stacked nearly as high. Turn to Gobbet, are you okay? She doesn't seem to notice you. Her jaw hangs open in horror. As her eyes move from atrocity to atrocity, her cheeks slowly drain of color. Gobbet, no, not Simon. Tears spill down her cheeks. Oh, rat, no, this. Gobbet grasps her way to finish her thought. She doesn't find one. I'm sorry, Gobbet, I know these people were friends. A lot of them were, some I didn't know. Her eyes remain locked on the nearest pile of corpses. They all deserve better than this. The Rat King is supposed to be down this level. That means we're headed in the right direction. After seeing this, I don't think that this raft is worth saving. We should go back to my original plan, Beej. Let's send this thing to the bottom. That's where it belongs. Isabel, you can't do that, Gobbet. We already told Cadmus that we're going to help him. He's been getting the other mutineers ready to fight, not to evacuate. If we sink this thing now, they might even not make it off the boat. Gobbet, we'll tell them we changed our minds using the alarm system. They'll make it out. Trust me. We made a promise, Gobbet. I think we should keep it. She sighs. I think it's a stupid idea, Beej, but if you really want to do this, and I'll help you get it done. At least this way I'll get to look the Rat King in the eyes when I kill it. Isabel, damn right. Gobbet, if we're gonna do this, we need to find Melvina's old cabin. It should be west of here. Got it. I'll have to get the shiny object away from the Rat King if we want to kill it. That's probably gonna be tricky. I don't think that should just let me saunter up and take it. Stolen shiny object twice already. 3rd time's the charm, right? Yeah, 3 makes a list. She rolls her shoulders, exhales heavily. All right, let's do this. I'm gonna put a save down because we got through that mountain. We got through that section of dialogue. Let's look at our things. Find Cadmus, which we did. Find Melvina, which we're supposed to. We organized a mutiny. We could still scuttle the ship. All right, so stop the Rat King, find a rearmed final scuttling charges, use the alarm to warn Cadmus. Scuttling charge. The scuttling charge is old, very old. The case is cracked and leaking, and you can see exposed wires underneath. The large red toggle switch serves as a safety. It's currently set to armed. So if I disable it, does it switch it back from unarmed? Steps in disarm position with audible thunk. Disabling safety in the scuttling charge. But I thought we were going to aid in the mutiny. Are we going to go back to my old plan, seeking the raft? That's what's happening now? No, I still want to the cabinets. I just think that we should disable the safeties on the bombs too, just in case. If I was disabling the safeties as a contingency plan, there's no point in doing it if we aren't going to sink the raft, but there's no harm in keeping our options open either. The engine room is our point of no return, though. Once we head in there and I start diverting power to the bombs, all bets are off. Odds are good we'll have a fight on our hands. God, but if we do change plans and decide to sink the raft, we better let Cadmus people know about it. They're expecting a mutiny, not abandon ship. We don't give them the heads up they're heading on a one-way trip to the bottom of Hung Hom Bay. God, let's get those charges disarmed. So I don't get it. So... yeah, that's weird. Yeah, I would assume that if you had... because it's like, the safety is armed. So I disarmed the safety, so the charge is now armed? Because it says remaining charges armed, 1 of 4. Aha! Look at those places to be a shaman. Let's see here. Why did she only get 1? Oh, there's a devil rat over here too. Look at that. That sucks. Why does she only get 1 in this case? There. Let's give her some more accuracy. Would I be better off moving back so I can take this thing out? Because I've already got a hit. We've already got hits on it. Figured. Oh, there's even more. Didn't realize there were 4 of them. Alright, so I move back. There's another one over there. So I move over here. Gobbet moves away. Isabel shoots a grenade. Can I even get out of this mess? Alright, what else can I do? Slow, air barrier, lightning barrier. Then we move Gobbet. Isabel sets up over here. Spray and pray. Oh, they changed their minds. Not so interested in me, apparently. All right, from here I can do some good work if I can make the hit. Nice. Damn it. That's good. This is less good. That thing's dead. Thing's dead. How's everyone doing? 26 out of 40, 40 for 50. I'm hurting. How do you use med kits outside of activate? There it is. Wait, let's not take away my only med kit. Activate on beach. Confirm. There, I regained a lot of HP. Did I just save? I can't remember. I did not. Open door. Nothing else to look at. Open door. Pick up a thing. More rats? Aha. That's pretty good. Nice to have options. Jesus. No windows, eh? All right. It's funny because normally the room that's the furthest away is always one where you're like, that must be where the big fight's gonna happen. That's an engine room. Oh my god. Scuttling charge. Yeah. An old relay switch box hangs off the wall. Plastic interior of the case is broken in numerous places and jumble of wires spill out of the cracks. This is a shipboard alert system or what's left of it. Your eyes are drawn to a large lever marked alarm. So I only set 3 of the 4 charges. I'm guessing the 4th one's in the other room. Start the mutiny. Alarm system blares once and twice. The sound is ear-splitting. Moments later, the distant sound of gunshots filters down from above. Gain to karma. Am I gonna have to fight more rats on the way here? Hope not. Let's go in. Ah, there's a final charge. In case something happens. The door is heavy. This door is heavy. It could be easily barred to prevent outside intrusion, but instead it stands ajar. It's almost as if it's inviting you in. Gobbet, that's Malvino's old cabin, the seat of power for the sinking ship. That's where the Rat King is going to be. Once we go in there, we're going to be in this. There's no changing our minds after we picked a fight with that thing. What do you say, Beej? We're doing this or not? Into the Rat King's throne room. I want to stand over here. The thing that looms over you is horrifying. A twisted amalgamation of woman and swarm knotted and tied together into a single whole. The Rat King, Gobbet. This creature's voice is unnerving, 1,000 rumbling voices, all interwoven and laid over the top of Melvina's crisp, cultured speech. You have returned to us, little mouse. You, the instigator of our own ascendancy. The Rat King shifts its gaze to a nearby altar. A gleaming red stone has been ensconced within. The keystone, the source of our unity, the font of power that makes us strong. Your gift to us, little mouse. You gave us what we needed to bring this raft to order. Gobbet's nose crinkles in revulsion. On her shoulders, madness and folly chitter and shriek. Gobbet, save me the speech, Melvina, or whatever you are. I'm not here to talk. The new body isn't doing you any favors, by the way. You look like a furry tree stump. The Rat King leans forward into the light. A fine-featured face with high cheekbones and piercing eyes stares down at you. The carpet of living vermin that bury the rest of Melvina's head and neck struggle and shriek. Our new body is beauty itself! Unity of biology and unity of purpose! Melvina, what happened to you? We are not Melvina. We are one, bound together for all time. This thing's voice grows to a roar, and you hear other sounds folded into it, the cacophonous, gibbering babble of things gone mad. We are order out of chaos, the death of entropy, a glorious unity. I can't do the rumble because my voice will not stand it. Gobbet, oh, fuck this. She pulls the slide back on her weapon. We're here to kill this thing, not let it talk us to death. Attack the Rat King. Damn right. You hear the scrape of claws of metal. Something is headed this way. Oh, piss. Optional. Found Melvina. I guess we did. Didn't fucking find Cadmus, apparently. Well, I can either take cover or set up for something, or what else is in this room? Gobbet has to steal the damn thing. What I understand is we have to get to the altar, which I think is this thing over here. Isabel sets Overwatch. I mean, technically took damage. Are we not supposed to, like, steal something? Is it from here? Okay, there's an altar with a stone. Do I have to beat the crap out of it before I can take it? Because I'm not seeing any way to interact with it. Is it Alt for interactables or is it Tab? Alt is not showing me anything to interact with. All right. All right, I did some damage already, so it's probably safe to say that I'd probably say decrease the target's movement. That's a good start. Next step. Isabel. Cannot throw that. Takes a shot. Ooh, Gobbet gets hit. By a frickin' lot. Alright. Gobbet. Moves over here. Heals a wound. I am now open for fighting, I guess. I could also seal her behind some stuff. I don't want you coming over here. Isabel, grenades. Aha. Pain. We will show you pain. What the shit? There's a shiny object. Wrecking controls on for a moment. Strange energy washes over it, bathing its body in new light. Oh, no. Good start. That magical shield. Okay, cannot do anything about that. Gobbet can grab the shiny object. The Rat King shrieks as Gobbet lifts the shiny object in her hand. In its voice, you can hear the echoes of 1,000 inhuman beings. Gobbet, this is interesting. She hugs the shiny object to her chest, her bare hands caressing the stone. I can feel Malvina's control over the rats. It's like 1,000 strings connecting her to them, and it feels like one of the Rat King's servitors shudders in place. Slowly, seemingly against its own will, it lifts its head to stare at you. Gobbet, I can tug at those strings. Malvina's cultured voice is overtaken by the inhuman roars of the other things that share her body. We will rend you all to pieces, tear your flesh to shreds. Gobbet dances back, curling the shiny object like a newborn baby. She begins to laugh. Buy me a little time, Beej. I'm still getting used to this thing, but if you give me a minute or two, these demon rats will be mine. I can do that. What should we start with? Zot? I feel like I can get one more off of him. Okay, good. Is it worth... An ominous chittering noise fills the air. Is it worth firing? Let's find out if it's worth firing. It is not worth firing. Okay. Well, let's reload then. More of these things keep coming. That's fine. Magical shield makes you immune. Oh, I see. If you kill it, it doesn't bounce. That's an interesting thing to know. You would probably best set up Overwatch, I guess? Sure. Just right in the dome. God damn, that hurts. All right. Time to use that salve, I think. And Elvine, I've got something of yours. Oh, shit! All right. Let's start with the good shamanic salve. How do I use it? I click on myself now, right? All right. Gobbet moves away? Sure. These things... Alright, is it worth the grenade launcher, or maybe we start taking actual shots? Gobbet takes an aimed shot. I feel like we need to get her a little closer to have this actually be worthwhile. Maybe here. Gobbet. Could also get a little closer too, I guess. I mean, I could do that and just really get into it. Acidic Fog. Or grant me some more AP. That would be nice. These guys. I'd be mad too. Just because I could. Oh, why not? Fight! A win! Rat King's body shudders and convulses as you watch the living carpet devil rats that forms the majority of its bulk begins to writhe. Malvina opens her mouth to speak, but you'll never know what she's going to say. The only sound that escapes from her throat is a long, ragged scream. With the dawning horror, you come to realize what you're looking at. The devil rats that surround Malvina are turning inward. Oh, God, no. She's being eaten alive. Gobbet stares, dead-eyed at her former friend as the swarm that is bound to her rips her body apart. Black blood pours in rivers to the aluminum-lined floor. Come on, Gobbet, let's get the hell out of here. Gobbet, you go if you want to. I'm watching this. I owe Malvina that much. The ghastly feast unfolding before you continues long after Malvina's screams have died away. Finally satisfied, Gobbet nods to you. Gobbet, this raft is ours. It's over. Her PDA buzzes. She glances down at it, then turns the screen so you can see. Cadmus's grim visage fills the screen. Cadmus, I don't know what you just did, but whatever it was, it worked. Those rat things turned on Malvina's loyalists. He wheezes into his mask, gulping in purified air. And when they done got eating them, they started eating each other. Gobbet stares down at the shining object that she holds clutched in her hands. Yeah, I know. I told them to right after the same to the Rat King. Malvina's dead, Cad. Cadmus, you did good work, Gobbet. You and your friends. We won. Come up topside. Celebrations in order. Gobbet, she shakes her head. No, Cad. No celebrations. No milling around. You can keep this place. I'm done with it. Too many bad memories. And besides all that, you got a hell of a mess in your hand. I'll be damned if I'm going to help clean it up. Cadmus, you already helped us clean up, Gobbet. We'll always owe you for that. Gobbet, yeah, well, let's not make a big thing out of it. Goodbye, Cad, and good luck. She flicks the PDA off. The screen goes dark. Isabel, Captain Jomo's still waiting for us outside. Ready to go home? Gobbet, beyond ready. She passes the shiny object from one hand to another, scowling. And this stupid thing is taking a one-way trip to the bottom of the bay. Okay, good call. Or sure you don't want to sell it? You probably get money for that thing. Bad fucking idea. Definitely not. You could hang on to it yourself if you want. You know how powerful that thing is. God, I love the idea of saying to her, What do you think? What do you think? Yeah, sell it for plot hooks? God, no. Archmage Blackstone not gonna sell it for plot hooks. But what if we were the Rat King? It does not need to be around. My biggest issue with it is you throw it into the bottom of the bay. Someone hears about that, goes hunting for it. Whereas at least if she holds onto it, like, more as a warning, be like, you could hang on to yourself if you wanted. You know how powerful that thing is if you just had it somewhere that you knew about it. But then also, I guess that makes her a target as opposed to just throwing it into the bay. And I mean, for safety's sake, it's going to take a long, long time. Yeah. Throw into bay, blow up the ship, sink ship on shiny stone. Yeah, we weren't telling anybody about this. And you break it would be the thing to do, right? Like, that would be really the thing to do. Yeah, yeet. I mean, I'd love to see how that plays out, but I think just yeet. Good call. Come on, Beej, let's go home. Hey, Captain Jomo's speedboat carries you away from the sinking ship, now liberated from the tyranny of the Rat King once and for all. The shiny object rests with Malvina's bones at the bottom of Hung Hom Bay. Gobbet stares back at the raft as it recedes into the distance. Her expression is at once happy and sad. Isabel takes her hand and together they turn away. Heyoe grows closer. You're going home. Yeah, she's been shadowrunning for a long time. She knows what she came here on her own. Gobbet's very independent. Just letting her have her thing, I think, is not bad. I did stop her from just sinking the ship. So I think giving her the opportunity to just be like, it's like, there's no reason for me to interfere in that. All right, so we gained 8 karma. You comlink chirps and kindly Cheng's rusty voice slides to the speaker. You can hear the sounds of mahjong players laughing in the background. It's Auntie Cheng, dear. You've been gone a while, Auntie. I was wondering when you were coming back. I'm here now and have a present for you, little one. She sounds like a big cat sitting triumphant on the carcass of a wildebeest. I have a lead on the location of the plastic-faced man, the man we saw in the surveillance footage meeting Raymond Black at the tea house in the docks. The one who killed him. And according to Mr. Gunshow, he believes his father is still alive. I do too. Do you? Well, you're more of an optimist than I am. Her voice trails off for a moment. Now get off the comm and come see me, little one. We have preparations to discuss. 1 action point. Your experience has upgraded your ability to operate in dangerous situations. And we have... No, stop. Stop doing that. We have a means by which to upgrade people. So Gobbet could take Plague Barrier. Gobbet gains a conjuring spell which sets up 4 heavy cover barriers. Ooh, that lasts 3 rounds. Anyone that enters takes minus 14 and 1 AP damage. Or a Devil Rat Spirit Fetish in her standard equipment. I guess she just always has the Devil Rat Spirit Fetish. Being able to control that, like, this is pretty good, but you can buy spells. You can't buy Devil Rats. Alright, Sabotage. Listen, all y'all, this is Sabotage. She gets some cyberware, the Bright Light system. Let's see. Gains the Bright Light system Cyber Eye. Higher energy flash bulbs hidden in a Cyber Eye. Capable of temporary blinding and appointment. AP cost 2, duration 2, cooldown 6. That's interesting. Or Jolt Alert system. These users brought into a stunned state. They will be jolted awake with 1 AP. Oh. So if somebody stuns me, she can be like, and bring us back to life. So she can either stun someone or help someone out of stun. I'm thinking the stun's probably not a bad idea, but I like this idea of if I have her with me and she can bring people out of stun. But let's just think about Sabotage for the time being. Lethal Force. Oh, it might be just for her. Oh. If the user's brought into a stun state, they'll be jolted away with 1 AP. Okay, so if they get stunned, it brings her out immediately, and she at least gets 1 AP. She doesn't have to be stunned. That's not bad. She has other ways of, like, I don't think she has any ways of actually, like, stunning people yet, but I think this is not a bad idea. Anyway, let's do this. Recoil compensation. Let's see what that is. Full auto fire no longer has a 10% penalty to accuracy when used. That's handy. Or shock baton. Duncan gains new weapon. A melee range shock baton does 4 HP and 2 AP damage per hit, but must be recharged every 2 hits. Ugh. Or just don't have that penalty anymore. All right. Augment stance. Metal cover bonus. Cactu's metal stance now provides a light cover bonus, preventing critical hits in the open. That's cool. Or disease. Exudes a cloud of disease spores, damaging nearby enemies. Base damage 16, with ongoing 3 HP and 1 AP damage for 3 rounds. AP cost 1, cooldown 5. Wow! That's not bad. Maybe I'll just have to exit and come back and do this later. I like this idea of if he has the metal stance, which is the... like, that's not bad. Plus causing AP damage himself means that he can get people into the state where he can use a coup de grace. Only hits enemies, apparently. Preventing crits in the open, because he'd have light cover. You just be in. That's, I mean, that's very valuable because it means that because he's running around hitting people, he might not be in a state where he's like, I need to find cover. He might just be like, I can use this to keep myself from getting ruined. See, this is damaging nearby enemies, and I have no idea how big the thing is, but and the regen, he's got whirlwind. Raptor. Firearm systems gets Predator. All of Koshi's firearm systems attack now pierce up to +2 armor. Or Raptor's drone Koshi gains clawed feet. This causes all attacks in the melee systems to bleed targets for 2 damage per round for 2 rounds. I think I like skipping armor when he shoots. He doesn't shoot that often, but now he can pierce armor. These are not bad choices overall, I think. Getting disease versus metal cover. Stance now provides a light cover bonus versus this. Doesn't have much else that's defensive. Just preventing crits in the open, but I think disease is fine. I like that for Duncan, lethal force. I like the jolt alert as a backup for Isabel, so she can always, like, if she gets stunned, she can be like, I can pull myself out of that. And then Gobbet having the Devil Rat Spirit Fetish, of course you take that. That's super rad. I mean, the Plague Barrier sounds awesome, but we can always buy interesting spells. I'm just going to confirm all. Yep. Exit. Great. I have 9 karma to spend. Body at 4 is, like, not bad, because it definitely leaves me in that position of, you know, being able to do things. We're going to just hang off on that. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to save the game. We got lots of things to do when we get back. We had a lot of talkie-talkie. We had a successful run, especially because it was Gobbet's run. That was cool, getting a chance to do that. I love that her run is, she's gone. You want to go look after this? It's like, shit, I guess that's what we do. That's a very cool way of writing her personal run, is to be like, she's already gone to the thing. If you want to go help out, you can do that, but you got to make the decision now. So we're going to quit that. Going to come back to the booth. I'm going to duck the music a hair, because it's good music, but we're going to leave that. Yeah, that's all right. And this has been Play It Forward on, Christ, it's still Monday night, technically. 6 minutes to midnight. Jesus, I want to go home. Getting home at midnight, my God. Yeah, nobody paid us for doing the Rat King. I mean, who's going to do that? It was a good thing that we did it. We did a good thing for people, and you know what? I got like 9 karma out of that, or 8 karma, or whatever I got. So it's 9 karma. I did a karma thing, didn't I? Anyway, doesn't matter. Let's talk about all the things that happen after streams. This has been Played Forward on the Loading Ready Run network here on Twitch.tv. Thank you for joining me tonight. I'm Beej. We'll be playing more Shadowrun Hong Kong as the weeks roll on, trying to do stuff as fast as we can. I want to thank everybody who subscribes to the Patreon, because patreon.com/loadingreadyrun is one of the major ways in which we make money to keep the lights on here and to pay for the internet connection and to put food in my stomach, which I'm probably going to have a little bit of that. Oh yes, did you order new contacts? I did that earlier today, in fact. I got that done. I didn't do the other thing I had to do today, but I'll worry about that tomorrow. It's fine. Wait, can I do it tomorrow? Maybe I can. It's fine. I can do it tomorrow. It's not a bad idea. It's work, but tomorrow's my day off. Maybe go see a movie. That'll be fun. Take Heather and we'll go see a movie. Right. So, patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. That was important. So Patreon. Lots of people on the Patreon. Really happy to see you all. 2,400 people. That's so cool. That's a lot of patrons. And thank you, every one of you who subscribes. That is a big help. Also want to thank the people who are giving bits and the people who are subbing right now, in fact, because that is another way in which you help keep everything rolling here at Loading Ready Run. Because holy crap, it's funny. I keep saying that, and I'm like, yeah, that's right. That's what I do for a living. I work for Loading Ready Run. That's 10 years ago. Beej University, if you had said, hey, you know what? That thing you think you're gonna do with your life, you're not. You're gonna do something completely different. And it's gonna be kind of like this, is like, I get to play video games and then I get paid for it, and I get to do that because the internet says that that's cool and you can do that, and we like watching you do that. And I'm like, holy shit, that's kind of amazing. So this is real neat. This is a cool job to have. So let's thank everybody with the bits and with the subs. Oh right, I should say store.loadingreadyrun.com, another place in which you can go support us as well. We sell merchandise through there, and we would appreciate you go take a look at that. There's t-shirts and there's playmats and there's all sorts of other things, and always working on getting more stuff added to that, to the list of things that you can buy if you like it. Because, I mean, I like cool stuff and we like cool stuff, and we hope you like cool stuff too, and we hope we can make cool stuff for you. Let's talk about subs and bits. If you are cheering, in fact, when you use the Bleed Purple emote, for any amount of bits that you're cheering, I think it's any amount, whatever it is, a certain amount, you get bonus 10% on top of that as well. And so let's thank Aleph Red, for example, for cheering with 500 bits. I'm really enjoying this playthrough. Have some complimentary Bezos bits. Thank you very much. State of Comatose subscribed for 13 months. Hey, Beej and Paul, missed my 1 year, but here for my lucky 13. Getting married in 5 days. Any advice? I already gave you that advice, and you're probably not even hearing any more State of Comatose because it's late. Xantos69 subscribed for 27 months. Beej, you're just the most joyful, wonderful person. Keep on being you. Thank you very much, Xantos. It's hard sometimes to be joyful at midnight, but then again, that's also, I've been up for a while, and I'm all excited now, and things are happening, so hey, maybe I'm real excited and shit. I've also been reading really fast tonight. The Seg, with 39 months, hype, welcome back, The Seg. E-Block cheering with 1,000 bits. Wow, I've been loving this Play It Forward so much. Thank you for this, Beej. Thank you, E-Block, for the bits. I appreciate that. I'm glad you're enjoying this. And cheered with another 108 bits. E-Block again, wow. Caustic Acid for 55 months. Hey, Shadowrun hype, welcome back. Earthen One cheered with 50 bits. Bistod cheered with, and thank you for those bits. And Bistod subscribed for 33 months. I'm moving around because I'm trying to get my contact lenses to focus on the thing that I'm reading. DJ Alternative subscribed for 5 glorious months. Shape without form, shade without color, paralyzed force, gesture without motion. Those who have crossed with direct eyes to death's other kingdom, remember us if at all, not as lost, violent souls, but only as the hollow men, the stuffed men. Thank you, DJ Alternative, and welcome back. Doom4114 subscribed for a full year. Holy crap, a year already? That's what you said. Party God subscribed for 27 months. That's a cube. Thanks, Beige. Now I've beaten this game twice. XD. Oh, cool. I don't plan on playing this again after this, which is weird, but I don't normally play games a second time, but I'm really enjoying getting a chance to do this charisma run and getting a chance to play with, like, being a shaman and doing magic, and it's like, that's real awesome. Like it's It's like, this is a whole part of Shadowrun that I never really thought about doing. But, you know, this is like, guns are the guns, and let's gun. And it's like, I get to magic and shit. It's kind of fun. It's real cool. All right. Type 1 has cheered with 100 bits. Thank you, Type 1. Fruan cheered with 100 bits with the bonus 10 as well. Like this. Feldheim C subscribed for 71 months saying, oh, hey, a button. 71 months. Oh, my God. Beowulf also for 71 months. Thank you for this playthrough. I'll get some sleep. I will get some sleep. I'll go home and I'll stay up another 3 hours and then I'll go to bed. It'll be great. Oh, Thor Sokar confirms that playing all 3 of these games, that is super fun playing them again, doing a second playthrough completely differently. So that could be a thing maybe I do someday on my own too. It'd be like, why play Max Charisma? But this is like, it's weird. It's like, it's like a weird dream of mine to be like, talk yourself out of everything. But what I have never played that I kind of thunk about was as a rigger. Maybe that's an option. It's just super hard into biotech and rigging and all that kind of stuff. Bodacious Need asks, Beach, will you play EDF 5? Earth Defense Force 5. I don't know if it's on a platform I play or not. And I probably won't play it, I don't think. Because I don't know if it's a game up my alley or not. But yeah. Anyway. It is midnight 01. I'm going to thank everybody for showing up tonight. It's been a blast continuing to play this with you. I'm eager to get home, of course. Thank you so much for kicking in. I feel like there's more things I need to be saying to you. Oh, right. We're doing a Dungeons and Dragons stream coming up. All right, the up next, actually. Let's do that. Since we're talking about all the things that are coming up, let's do the up next. Of course, tomorrow in 9 short hours, the shortest of short hours, you've got Mine O'Clock, which is great because it has Serge and Uno and also James. All my friends are here, and James. That's to see if James is actually the one on the lure account right now or not. But anyway, James and Uno and Serge playing more modded Minecraft, playing more Paths of Magic 3, Talking Sims at 2, that's Cameron and Corey continuing with Heaven's Vault, which when I saw mentioned, I was like, this game sounds real neat, and I'm super keen on the idea of it. I don't know if I'll ever play it or not, but I'm super keen on the idea of it. And then the Let's Nope at 5 p.m., Ben and Adam playing Bloody Mary, which I'm assuming is you say it 3 times while staring into the monitor, and then she will appear on the monitor. So it's a microphone-driven game, I guess. So it'll be a good scare, I guess. See, loading ready run. If you post, if you post the emoji, which is what you did, of which one of us it is on stream. And if it's somebody with a beard, because I can't see clearly, I can't see who it is with the beard. So it's Graham, confirmed, I guess. Graham has blue eyes? I never noticed your beautiful blue eyes, Graham. Let's bring this back to the booth, because I've been doing all this and you can't see me doing it. And also, we've got a Dice Friends one-shot coming up Monday, July 29th. And yes, I know that's in a couple of weeks, but you might be interested in hearing about it. We're Loading Ready Run is playing Dungeon World with Kathleen, Adam, Corey, and Serge, with our guest DM Adam Coble, who we did play with at Magic Fest Seattle, and I believe the Dungeon World bit that we did, the bit that we did with Adam at Magic Fest is now up. Adam, I think, was hosting it. Adam Coble's hosting it, so I think you can go find that there if you want to enjoy that. I believe that's the case. Yes, the live one-shot is in his hands. Should be coming up tomorrow. He tweeted it from his account, @SkinnyGhost. So it should be on his YouTube channel pretty damn quick. And it was D&D, but yes, okay, cool, great. That's it, we're out of here. Everyone have a lovely night. Thank you for stopping by. I talked all the way past the point where the music kind of fades into nothingness, so now we're just gonna have to go out on what it's doing right now, and that's okay, and we'll just do what we normally do. And you do what you normally do, and if you gotta go sleep, go get some sleep. And if you're enjoying the day in Germany or in Australia or wherever it is in the world where people are still up, that's cool. You enjoy you. We'll see you next Saturday.